He's in town between the Marlins and Mariners as we go downstairs and visit with the third member of our broadcast team, Jeremy Taché.
Thanks, Kyle. Well, it's great to be back here with you at Lone Depot Park on Marlins.tv. And Lone Depot Park, a place where the Marlins have won 28 baseball games. That's good for the fourth best record in Major League Baseball. That's just one of the great things happening as we take a look at the state of the Marlins. You see some of it right here, but let's talk about some of the other records they're setting. How about a 20-6 June? That's the best win percentage month in team history. Tonight's starter on the hill, All-Star Max Meyer, he tied Livan Hernandez with a franchise best 9-0 start to this season. Fellow All-Star Otto Lopez, he broke Miguel Cabrera's team record and now has 39 multi-hit games. Liam Hicks had the most ribbies before May of any catcher in MLB history, and Sandy Alcantara, well, he just keeps setting records for the Marlins. The most all-time strikeouts, he was 6-0 in June. He also has the most wins here at Lone Depot Park. So many great things, and that's the best part about baseball, right? You always have a chance to witness history and see something you've never seen before. Maybe tonight's that night, and you can do it by watching right here on Marlins.tv. It's Max Meyer, it's Bryan Woo, and it is you, Miami Marlins fans, that should stay tuned in right here on Marlins.tv. Game 1 of 6 straight here at home to wrap up the first half. We'll be right back.
For us.
Well, I'd like to hope that those fine folks are about to catch the waves of the Miami River and make a pit stop here at Lone Depot Park tonight, where the All-Star Max Meyer will toe the rubber for the 19th time this season for the Marlins, who have won 13 of their last 17 games, and after dropping the first 2 games in July, they backed that up with a sweep in Sacramento. There is a look at Max Meyer's numbers this season: 18 starts, 9 wins, 1 loss, and a 2.53 earned run average.
Yeah, and Clayton was giving Max so much credit. As we look at his arsenal, we know he has that sweeper and slider, but for a young guy who was drafted in the first round back in 2020, he's gone through a lot of different injuries. Tommy John, of course, hip issues, come a long way. And he's put it all together this year to make himself an all-star. He'll be going to Philadelphia.
You'd be hard-pressed to find another Marlin that you have to root harder for this season than Max Meyer. He has been dominant. But tonight, one of his stiffest tests to date this season, taking on the first-place Seattle Mariners coming out of the American League West. The Mariners starting lineup is brought to you by FPL. Crawford, Arozarena, Canzone, Raleigh, Naylor, Raley, Young, Robles, and Emerson. But this is a lineup right now without Julio Rodriguez, Brendan Donovan, Will Wilson, and Rob Refsnyder. Obviously a couple of big-time contributors and a couple of other guys who come off the bench as well. Let's take a look at the defense behind Max Meyer tonight.
We'll check in on Griffin Conine in left. Marcy back in there, got hit in the knee the other day in Sacramento. Good to see him back in. Owen Casey in right. Sanoja, Lopez, Edwards, and Stowers around the infield. Boy, has Kyle Stowers come out as a hitter ever since he's been playing first base. And Joe Mack, solid behind the plate.
This is a fascinating matchup between the Marlins and the Mariners, who pitch their tails off, but they do not hit for a whole lot in baseball this season. We are underway a little after 6:40 at 6:41 Eastern time tonight, as Max Meyer's first offering of the ball game, a fastball and a called strike on J.P. Crawford, batting .212 over 73 games this season for the Mariners.
It's really an interesting matchup because you have Max, who's just terrific here at Lone Depot, 5-0 with a 2.13 ERA. And then you have Bryan Woo, who has an ERA over 6 on the road.
Crawford takes a slider inside for ball 2. Crawford with 10 homers, 25 runs batted in. He has seen Max Meyer before. He's 1 for 2 against him. And he takes ball 3. Max Meyer wanted to challenge. I think Joe Mack thought about it, and they both elected not to. Crawford playing in his 20th career game against the Marlins as he takes strike 2. Good fastball from Max.
You know, we talk about the sweeper, we talk about the slider, but I really think the four-seamer has been a key pitch for Max because he's been able to keep hitters off that other stuff with that good four-seamer.
Suffered his first loss of the season this past Wednesday, his 18th start of the season in Colorado. 3-2 right there. Strike three call, one up and one down.
Well, against the sweeper, hitters hitting 199. That's going to go down a little bit after that strikeout on that terrific pitch. Freezes Crawford right there.
Filthy stuff. Crawford thinking about it as he takes that long walk back to the dugout. Here is Randy Arozarena, who gets spun out of the way of a sinker. Arozarena recently named to his third All-Star team. This is a ballpark he is very familiar with over the years, whether that's playing in the World Baseball Classic or as a member of the Tampa Bay Rays, as it's 1-1.
You know, he's been an exciting player. He's been a solid player over the years.
And a good one. Batting .286, swings and misses. Might have caught a piece of Joe Mack on the follow through. He did. He's going to check on him. He will. Joe Mack, you cannot say enough about that young man, making his 43rd major league start tonight. And in his own little way, he has propelled these Marlins to this 49-42 record. Without him, I don't know where they are, as Arozarena bounces one to the left side. For another All-Star, Otto Lopez, who throws him out at first, 2 up and 2 down.
So let's see, Otto as an All-Star. That's nice. Throwing out another All-Star.
How about that? How deserving is Otto Lopez, Hut?
And I guarantee Otto Lopez is going to have an absolute blast in Philadelphia. He's going to enjoy every moment.
He should soak it all in. Here is Dominic Canzone, the left-handed hitting designated hitter. That'll be a bit of a theme here tonight. Only Arozarena and Robles are a pair of true righties in the lineup for Seattle.
Yeah, and on the other hand, the Marlins have 7 left-handers. You count Xavier Edwards in that group in their lineup.
So 14 of the 18 starters will hit left-handed tonight between the Marlins and the Mariners. A pair of switch hitters as well, as Canzone lays off a slider ball 3.
So all the young parents at home are scratching it down. Make my kid a left-handed hitter.
Yeah, no kidding. If he can throw lefty, he can hit lefty, he's got a chance. Maybe a nice build, about 6'1", 230. There's D-rank 1.
By the way, if your name is Dominic Canzone, you have to play for Team Italy.
Yes, you do. Yes, you do. 3-1 coming his way. And there's strike 2.
If you expect to be invited to Sunday dinner, you better play for Team Italy.
He was 3 for 16 playing in 4 games for Team Italy in the most recent World Baseball Classic, as he strikes out on a slider. A tidy first for Meyer. It was perfect with 2 Ks.
I'm Jay.
That's an enormous swing, and that's driven deep to left. That is gone! The All-Star leaves the yard.
What a swing. Beautiful to see the All-Star coming up when he gets towed and hits a 2-run homer.
If only our founding fathers could see these Marlins.
Otto Lopez is showing his team this is how you do it.
Well, riding a 6-game hitting streak, we will see Otto Lopez bat third as we go to the last of the first. There's a look at your Marlins starting lineup tonight. Proudly brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. Fish coming off a 7-3 10-game road trip, which tied the best record on any road trip of 10-plus games in club history. Boy, these guys are rolling right now. And let's see how this Marlins offense these next 3 days handles a sensational Seattle Mariners starting pitching staff, as Liam Hicks whacks one into left center, and that's how this one starts tonight.
You use the word rolling. Liam Hicks can roll out of bed and stroke line drives just like that, as he did coming off the injured list. Since coming off the injured list, he has a 7-game hitting streak. He now has a 17-game hitting streak.
Lovely effort by Emerson, young shortstop. But it got by him. Yeah, you're right. Liam didn't even give us an opportunity to let the audience know he's sauntering to the plate, riding a 16-game hitting streak before he extended it. Here is Kyle Stowers. So Brian Wu on the mound for the Mariners tonight. 26-year-old right-hander making his 18th start of the season, the 88th of his career. It's also his first career start against the Marlins.
This guy throws a lot of strikes, a lot of first pitch strikes, so don't be surprised to see a lot of the hitters go up with the same approach that Liam had, jump on that first pitch.
This is a Mariners ball club that's coming off back-to-back shutouts over the Blue Jays, a homestand they went 5-1 on. They haven't allowed a run in 24 innings. Let's see if the Marlins can change that early. So we got a miss, good slider. Stowers behind, 0-2.
Well, the backbone to the Seattle Mariners is their starting pitchers, and from Wu to George Kirby to Miller to Gilbert, Hancock, and Castillo, they all are solid.
Swing and a miss. Stowers down on strikes, couldn't come up on the slider, and there's one away.
Let's scout the right-hander, Brian Wu. What's our scouting report have for him? He was an all-star last year, just a tremendous strikeout to walks ratio. 97 strikeouts, 98 now, 19 walks. But road woes, an ERA over 6 this year on the road.
Toward the 6th-round pick, went 174th overall in 2021 out of Cal Poly State University. So last year's All-Star in Wu facing this year's All-Star Otto Lopez, who's coming off a road trip in which he hit .390. As Otto takes downstairs. He had 4 doubles, 2 triples, 3 home runs, and 8 RBIs on the road trip, did Otto. Batting a major league best .346 on the season. Hicks at first, no score. Bottom of the first, the pitch. That is lined into left, another base knock. Welcome home, Otto. First and second with 1 away as we take a look at the Doral Kia defense behind Brian Wu.
Pretty solid defense the Seattle Mariners have. We'll check it out with the Rosarena, Victor Robles solid in center, Luke Raley. Around the infield, Crawford, Emerson. Crawford actually won a Gold Glove as a shortstop. The youngster Colt Emerson now the shortstop. Cole Young. So they got a young up the middle tandem. And then Josh Naylor over at first base. Cal Raleigh behind the plate.
Lopez at first, Hicks at second, 1 out. Here's Edwards, and he takes a sinker downstairs for ball 1. X, like many other Marlins, had a very good road trip. He hit .382 on the trip with 7 RBIs, a pair of doubles. You want to know what stuck out to me most, though? How about 9 walks for X, who waits patiently on 1-0. And now it's 2 balls and no strikes.
I want to put a couple of things in perspective. I was looking at this before the game. There are only 11 players in the major leagues coming into tonight hitting .300 or better. 2 of them are on the Marlins.
Yep. Edwards slaps one foul, 2-1.
And to put Otto's year into perspective, his average jumps higher than .346 now with that base hit. The closest is Luis Arraez at .325. So put that in perspective. He is having an incredible year.
So too are these Marlins, who are just taking things one day at a time right now. But you know it feels mightily good coming off a terrific road trip led by Kyle Stowers and others. But you wake up this morning at home in your own bed and you roll over on your own pillow and think, wait a minute, we're in playoff position? 2-1. And X doesn't pull a trigger on a fastball. It's even at 2-2.
He'll spot that fastball right there with the best of them.
Hicks at second, Lopez at first, 1 away, bottom 1, and he struck him out. Good changeup. A couple of singles and a couple of strikeouts for Brian Wu here in the first.
Yeah, that's a pitch that it really is at the bottom of his group of pitches. He doesn't use it that much, but used it in a perfect spot there to get the strikeout.
So 2 out for Wu. And here comes Griffin Conine. Had a double, a homer, and 5 RBIs and 8 walks over the long road trip. And he takes strike 1. On the outside corner, you mentioned Wu's road struggles this season. He's lost 4 straight on the road. He's allowed 21 runs over his last 20 innings away from T-Mobile Park. In those outings, a 9.45 ERA. But you mentioned the 6.38 ERA on the road this year. Conine's behind in the count, 0-2.
Yeah, just 1-6 with that high ERA on the road. You know, it's really been something that has bothered him his whole career. His lifetime record at home, 24-5.
Likes that T-Mobile mound as Conine went around, and Wu strikes out 3 and allows a couple of singles and a scoreless first.
Welcome back to Lone Depot Park. 0-0 here in the top of the second. And if you're wondering how Max Meyer ended up an all-star, well, you can look right at his breaking pitches. He has the highest run value in Major League Baseball on breaking pitches. He also has the highest usage in baseball. He throws it 56% of the time, that sweeper, that slider. And I can only imagine, guys, that he'll be using that breaking ball more and more against the Mariners today, as they're 21st in baseball in OPS and 28th in batting average on breaking pitches. So for Max Meyer, it's been reliance on the breaking ball that's allowed him to elevate his game from a standard middle of the rotation starter to a guy who now has been named an all-star for the very first time.
Yeah, and it kind of goes back to what I said last inning, to put those 2 pitches and then be able to command that four-seamer the way he has. That's helped the whole thing. That's completed the package, as they say. Look at the vertical break of the sweeper. So the Marlins have a couple of guys, one of them's on the IL right now, and Anthony Bender, who have top-notch sweepers in the major leagues.
Well, here is a guy that had a top-notch 2025, but it's been everything but here in 2026 for Cal Raleigh, batting a .164 with just 9 home runs and 28 RBIs. Now, big picture for the Mariners, if you keep him in the ballpark, they have a real hard time winning games. It's actually remarkable when you see some of those numbers right there. I mean, coming off one of the greatest seasons ever. That's not hyperbole as a catcher in Major League Baseball history. This is a guy, Hunt, that has 3 extra base hits in his last 29 games, which includes a couple of homers, a double. That is a stretch of 122 plate appearances. There are some of the accolades for Cal Raleigh throughout the course of his career. And it's just been a disastrous 2026 for the Mariners backstop.
I would think if you're a Mariner fan, if you're a Mariner teammate of Raleigh's, you say, all that said, he's having a horrible start, but the ball club is a game and a half ahead in the AL West.
Pretty amazing.
Yeah.
It's even more stunning if you place the Marlins in the Pacific Northwest with a 49-42 record, how many games they'd be up in the division.
And there'd be no humidity either.
No humidity. Clayton is some darn proud of this team. Actually had a chance to talk with him a little bit earlier. He told me just what an incredibly fun ride this has been. As Raleigh pops this up foul into the seats. And Clayton proud of his team, and I would imagine Dan Wilson is proud of the Mariners. Kind of a gutsy effort here through their first 91 games, again leading the American League West by a game and a half, but you roll the dice and you wait 3 or 4 days. Those American League West standings can constantly change. Wilson managing in his 3rd season in Seattle as Raleigh takes strike 3 call. A lovely slider from Max Meyer. Well, the ultimate goal of a Major League fan is seeing them all. The MLB Journey to 30 sweepstakes presented by T-Mobile is the ultimate bucket list Enter now for your chance to win trips to all 30 ballparks. MLB.com/journey to 30 sweeps. Here is the former first-round draft pick for the Marlins, Josh Naylor.
Do you realize, as we had that shot of the Mariners manager Dan Wilson, what he has in common with Max Meyer?
I'd love to know.
They're both first-round draft picks. Wilson of the Cincinnati Reds, both out of the University of Minnesota.
Strike one on Josh Naylor. Good baseball man, Dan Wilson. Was born in Arlington Heights, Illinois, back in 1969. Used to call him Dan the Man. Sure some still do, as Naylor swats this high in the air behind third. Shallow left, Sanoja's out. Here comes Lopez. Javi wants it. He's got it. 5 up and 5 down for Max. And now a quick message from our friends at FPL.
At FPL, our teams are working every day because reliability isn't an option, it's a commitment. FPL, working for you every single day.
2 up and 2 down for Max Meyer here in the top of the second. No score at Lone Depot Park. Settling into game 1 of a 3-game series and game 1 of a 6-game homestand for the Marlins, featuring the Seattle Mariners and the Cleveland Guardians. Marlins 14 and 16 in interleague play. The Mariners are 12 and 12. Still odd with that balanced schedule to see so many interleague games played these days. Here's Luke Raley, the left-handed hitting right fielder, who is tied for first on the Mariners ball club with 14 home runs.
Right now, though, Raley struggling somewhat. 1 for his last 16.
And speaking 1 for his last 16, he's hitting a .116 in his last 23 games. That coming since the start of June. It's off the end of the bat into center. 6 up and 6 down for Max Meyer.
Esta transmisión de los Marlins está disponible en español.
Well, back here in Miami on this breezy Tuesday, where Marlins.tv is powered by Major League Baseball. No scores. We go to the last of the second inning, where Owen Casey will lead things off for the Marlins. We were talking in the bottom of the first about how darn excellent the Seattle Mariners pitching staff has been. We could try to put some of that into context for you. How about we start here? They're coming off a homestand in which they tossed 3 shutouts and did not allow more than 3 runs in any game, and every single game featured a quality start from their staff. Casey slugs that in the air deep to right field, way back, and forget about it. Shutout streak gone for the Mariners, and it's the Marlins who strike first. Casey, a bomb, his 12th of the year.
Nice round number, RBI number 50, which keeps him second on the team in that department. Boy, Wu tried to sneak that 4-seamer by him, just wasn't going to do it. And he was another hitter that Clayton talked about when he was talking about all the hitters. How Owen Casey, over the last month or so, things have really come together. He's gotten big hits, driven in some runs. That was a blast.
Good times keep rolling for the Marlins, courtesy of the long ball. They hit 12 against the A's, the most in club history in any 3-game series. Here's Marcy.
All right. Fastball, down and in, a lefty's delight. Let's see where Raleigh wanted it. Up and away, maybe out over the plate. Happy zone for Casey.
Here's Marcy. He homered in Sacramento. Another Marlins home run for healthcare this season, brought to you by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer this year means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida. The Marlins with their 92nd long ball of the year. Marcy slams one on a line, but right at Emerson, it's short. There's one away. He's starting to come around a little bit, though.
Yeah, you knew he wanted to get in that lineup today after getting hit in the knee, because he's swinging the bat much better the last 3 or 4 games. Here's a side view. Head right down on the ball. That pitch down and in. And Owen Casey knew immediately when he made contact that that was out. Off the facing.
Here is Joe Mack. Casey now solo, second on the ball club in the home run department with 12.
You were talking earlier, Kyle, about the resurgence of the ball club, the arrival of Joe Mack. In his 42 starts, the Marlins, with Joe Mack behind the plate, are 27-15.
Rookies do not often make that kind of difference, but they do if you're doing what he has done behind the plate, offensively and defensively, as he waits on a 2-0. Slams that one foul into the camera well. He has been incredible, and I do think if he continues this, you are going to find that come September, Joe Mack is going to be up there in the names amidst a long, good list of those in consideration to be National League Rookie of the Year. It's 2-2. And that's saying something because he didn't appear for the first 2 months of the year.
That's right. And to his credit, he went down to Jacksonville, worked on a few things, kept that tremendous defense alive, and has shown that terrific defense up here.
And offensively, the way he's coming around, Hunt, his last 27 games, an OPS of 950 with 7 homers and a 295 batting average. Wu is ready with a 2-2. Grounded softly left side. Emerson's got it, off balance. Trigger throw to first, picked by Naylor. 2 away after the solo shot by Casey.
Very nifty play by the 20-year-old, and yeah, I didn't get that wrong. He's just 20. Colt Emerson kind of moved J.P. Crawford over to third, but Crawford was all for it. He was okay
Correct.
with the move.
You got to be a good soldier.
Yeah.
It's not easy. These guys have egos, but when you have a young, promising prospect, and I think what many consider to be the crown jewel of the Mariners' future in Colt Emerson at shortstop, you got to make the move. Speaking of Crawford, he's in at third. Here's Sanoja. That's the 4th hit of the ball game for Miami, who averaged 11.3 per game, compiling 113 hits over their last 10 games on the road, and they're pacing rather nicely for another 11-12 hits in this one.
Talked about all the hitters that came alive on the road trip. There's one of them, and he's staying hot. Javi Sanoja hit .438. Had 14 hits and a home run, 9 RBIs on the road trip alone.
To go along with 2 triples, 2 doubles, and 3 walks. And you mentioned that .438 batting average. So Sanoja is at first. He wanted to go. Here's Liam Hicks, who singled the lead off the bottom of the first. Raleigh, a very good defensive catcher. He's caught 11 stealing, or trying to, this year. Gold Glover behind the plate. See the platinum emblem on his chest. And Wu, taking into consideration that Sanoja can run, checks in on him. How about that? You often see the gold gloves, but when you're a platinum glove guy, you can get the embroidered silver platinum.
You wear that proudly.
Sure do. Sanoja trying to get busy at first as Hicks takes a fastball for a strike.
Yeah, that time Wu went quick to the plate. Didn't give Javi too much of a chance.
Marlins are 36-11 when scoring first this season, the 2nd best mark in baseball. Well, Javi just trying to time him up at first, and Hicks grounds one up the middle into center to base hit. Javi turns and burns at second. On his way to third. They're on the corners with 2 out. Well, they haven't missed the beat coming home after an off day.
Oh, it is so fun. Liam Hicks can swing the bat. Don't need rehab assignments. Just put me back on the field. Give me a bat. 2 for 2 tonight. Has a 17-game hitting streak. Right up the middle. Remember, his first base hit was to the right side of the shortstop, so he's gone a little bit to left center, up the middle. Solid slide by Sanoja. A little pop-up action.
His slides are very Trey Turner-esque, that have taken social media by storm in Turner's career. So Hicks 2 for 2. If you're just joining us, Marlins leading 1-0. Owen Casey has slugged a leadoff homer here in the 2nd. And with 2 outs, Sanoja and Hicks have singled. That'll bring Kyle Stowers to the plate, who probably comes to the plate, Hut, thinking about all the sliders and breaking balls he saw from Wu in the first. He struck out on a slider.
Yeah, Kyle playing in his 19th game now as a first baseman.
That one goes all the way to the backstop. Here comes Sanoja. Here comes a throw. It's not in time. 2-0 Miami. Gotta be a wild pitch. If they were to somehow go past ball, it would be the first of the season for Raleigh. What do you think, Hut?
Well, he's set up. He has to reach a ways for it. I would say wild pitch, but he would say he's got to catch it. A lot closer than I thought it would be. Wu got in there in a hurry, and Raleigh pounced on that ball quickly.
Hicks at second. Stowers takes ball 2. Yeah. Stowers in the driver's seat right here. Swing and a miss. He knew he was too, and he was looking for a fastball to gobble up.
Yeah, and he got that slider again. Yeah, as a first baseman, Kyle has hit .355 with 6 home runs.
He looks good over there, and obviously he's comfortable, and he's not letting constantly thinking about the defense affect him at the plate, which you could understand if it did, trying to learn that position. So now it's 2-1 on Stowers, who continues to get a steady dose of sliders from Wu. Got a fastball that time. He swung right through it. 2-2.
And I think the other part of that with Kyle Stowers, yes, playing first base might have something to do with it, but all of a sudden we've seen his swing come around too.
Very calm stance. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Stowers strikes out for the second time. But a couple of runs on 3 hits here in the second, including a solo shot to lead off the inning courtesy of Owen Casey. His 12th of the year. It's 2-0 Miami as we go to the third.
40 p.m.
Marlins TV is presented by Warner Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia. As we go to the top of the third, where the Marlins have a 2-0 lead for Max Meyer. Their all-star, who will not participate in the Midsummer Classic because he's pitching today. He will also wrap up the first half of the season, making another start on Sunday, which for Max will be his 20th of the year, as he faces Cole Young, the second baseman, to lead off the third.
Max will definitely participate in the festivities.
Well, one of the guys that's taking the place of Max Meyer in the All-Star game is the former Marlin Jesus Luzardo, as Young would like to appeal this strike 3 call. ABS powered by T-Mobile. We'll see if Cole Young has a case. Might be 1-2. Let's see.
Yeah, it was a sweeper, was the pitch. Not sure if it caught the bottom part of the zone.
Anticipation building. That's a ball. It's 1-2. I need to follow back up with Max Hunt. When I congratulated him in Sacramento, I said, man, no all-star break for you. It'll be a ball. I said, man, it'd be a nice hotel stay. Probably put you up. Nice digs. He goes, well, maybe. And only a way Max Meyer can. He goes, I'll probably just text Luzardo and see if I can stay with him at his place. I said, you guys are that close? He says, yeah, we're close. I said, but you don't want the nice hotel stay? He goes, no, I'll probably just hang out at his place. So,
and now Luzardo an all-star as well.
Yeah, which is cool. So maybe Max will still stay at his place. I don't know. But there you go. Max not starting Sunday. Will
See,
not pitch
yeah, other guys who are also pitching on Sunday, Mizrahi and Skeens. Mizrahi pitched last night. Skeens pitching tonight.
Mizrahi last night or today? I thought it was today.
Maybe it was today. Yes,
it was
this afternoon.
It was pretty good. 3 runs, 3 hits, 7 innings of work. His ERA is at 1.62 on the year.
Gave up a couple of homers, and that's it.
Nice little feather in the cap of Max Meyer, though, knowing, you know what, those Skeens and those Mizrahis of the world, I was in before them. 2-2. That's downstairs for ball 3. It was 0-2 on Young. Now the count is full.
As a fan, it's unfortunate that they won't get a chance to see guys like that, though, pitch.
Right.
Paul Skeens, a Mizorowski, a Max Meyer. What an assortment of stuff between those 3 guys.
I know it. 3-2, grounded hard to first, backhanded by Stowers. Lovely play. You mentioned he's making his 18th start there, Hut. Looks pretty darn comfortable. Nicely done, Stowers.
Boy, that was just a sweet pick over by the line. He had to backhand it. He gets himself set. Couple of steps. There's the pick. Takes it himself. I love it when first basemen take it themselves. Don't rely on the pitcher. Take that pitcher out of the play if you can.
You know, the one thing that has impressed me the most, Hut, and certainly you could speak to this, he doesn't and has not seemed jittery, anxious, stressed out over there at all. Everything has been fluid. It's been smooth as Victor Robles slugs a fastball to right field, playable for Owen Casey. And there's 2 out here in the 3rd. Robles not wasting any time. And with nobody on and 2 out, here comes Emerson, the shortstop. So far, so good for Max Meyer here in the 3rd. 16 in the 1st, 14 in the 2nd, 8 so far here in the 3rd.
I think what surprises a lot of people is Max holds left-handers to a little lower batting average than he does right-handers.
Bouncing ball to first. 9 pitches, 3 outs, and 9 up and 9 down for Meyer, who's perfect through 3.
Here to Lone Depot Park on Marlins.tv. I'm Jeremy Taché here with Marlins icon Livan Hernandez, World Series champion. And Livan, the man on the mound for the Marlins tonight, Max Meyer, tied your franchise record, starting 9-0 this season. So what stands out to you about Max, and how did it feel seeing him tie your record for the best start in Marlins history?
You know, I started in that year 9-0, and I see the guy. I told this guy that guy gonna be really good because I like the way he pitch, and I think he's one of the best pitch the Marlins have, and the guy is doing a really good job for the Marlins, and I love it. I love it the way he pitch. I love the way he go on the mound, and he mix everything. So that one's good. When he mix everything, he got good velocity. Last year, he's back from Tommy John, and this year he's ready to go.
Yeah, he's showing off why he's an all-star tonight thus far. And for this team, one of the best Junes in franchise history, or the best June in franchise history, one of the best first halves the Marlins have ever had. So what do you like about this team?
I like it last year, and I like it this year. This guy, you know, it's a young team. Everybody play hard. You know, when they're young, you got to play hard and show the people what you can do in the field. And that was the way it is. You know, you have to go over there and give you the best. You're a MLB player, so you have to. It's not about names, and you're young and you want to be successful in the team in this league. You have to play hard. You have to play smart and be the best you can.
Well, Livan Hernandez knows a little something about winning here with the Marlins. Thank you, Livan. Appreciate the time. Guys, we'll send it back to you.
That is the 1997 World Series MVP, Livan Hernandez, as Josh Naylor over near the dugout railing puts away out number 1 here in the 3rd.
Livan Hernandez, a 2-time All-Star himself. Won 178 games in his career, but I'll tell you what he'd be most proud of. He'd be most proud of the fact that he had 215 hits, 10 career home runs, and hit 221. Yeah. He loved to hit. He could swing the bat.
He is 51 years old, and I think if you needed him to take the ball in a pinch tomorrow, he'd probably do it, Hut. He's probably good for 75, 80 pitches.
He could throw strikes right now, yeah.
And I think you said before he could be here in like 5 minutes.
He's
right?
always available. He lives close by.
Here's Xavier Edwards, who struck out on a Brian Wu changeup in the 1st. Marlins leading 2-0. A homer by Casey in the 2nd. And then after a pair of 2-out singles, Javier Sinoja scored on a Brian Wu wild pitch.
I think we've seen Wu use the the breaking pitch, the slider, the changeup a little bit more than he normally does. Normally, he's right around 50% with 4 seamers, 17% sinkers, so that's 67% hard stuff.
The Mariners got a good one. The 0-2 to Edwards. High chopper over the mound. Here comes Young. His throw to first, not in time. Edwards legs it out. How often have we seen that this season? These guys will never give away an at bat, and they're always hustling 90 feet down the line.
Dan Wilson is saying, hold up. Yeah, let's take a peek at that. He liked the play that his young second baseman made, Cole Young.
Going to be close there.
It is. At first, I thought that Emerson was going to take it, the shortstop.
I think he's out. What do you think, Hut? Ball's just got to be in the circumference of the mitt, right about there. Ooh, baby, is it close. Now remember, New York is going to be able to sync up multiple angles here. They're going to use this one. They're going to use the last one. Challenge brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Gregg, and Garcia.
Man, that's close. Is it enough to overturn?
I think there might be just enough.
Got a pretty good stretch from Josh Naylor.
Maybe not. Umpiring crew tonight, Laz Diaz, the crew chief, was the one at first with the call.
Let's hope X gets the infield base hit.
By the way, Hut, there's 2 members of this umpiring crew that are going to accept buyouts at the end of the year. They will no longer be Major League umpires. Brian O'Nora at third, Laz Diaz,
after review,
the crew chief
goal's
at
been
first.
overturned. The runner's out. He had to retain.
And Laz got that one wrong at first. Mariners win the challenge, but it was still nice to see him hustling down the line, wasn't it?
I think that's one of the things, because there are many, that endears this team to fans around South Florida. That's the way they play. That's the way Clayton McCullough has them playing.
Nobody on and 2 out for Griffin Conine, who hits one foul off to the left. Conine 0 for 1 tonight, now 0 for his last 14 at the plate. So the umpires, they're going to retire at the end of the year. C.B. Buckner, Laz Diaz, Brian O'Nora, Lance Barksdale, Marvin Hudson, Tony Randazzo. Those guys accepting buyouts. And Andy Fletcher the last. The 0-1 is hit softly on a line into left. And that's going to get down for a base hit for Griffin Conine, who snaps an 0 for 14 with a 2-out single here in the third.
Yeah, a lot of times you bust yourself out of a little mini slump with a nice swing just like that. Taking the ball the other way, got the changeup, stayed back on it, probably got it off the end of the bat, but served it out to left field nicely. You know, he had that great series at Coors Field in Denver. What was he, 5 for 8? Hit a home run. But then he was 0 for Sacramento. So good to see him with that swing there. That's a good swing.
They had to yank Griff out of the plane leaving Denver. He was weeping. I don't want to leave. He was asked why, and he said, I can't get out of Coors Field. Owen Casey sent one out of here in a hurry in the second, his 12th homer of the year. It's good for solo second now in the ball club. You mentioned the even 50 RBIs. How about the Marlins? Already with 6 hits off Brian Wu in this one, leading 2-0, and Max Meyer looks terrific so far.
Yeah, you and Gabby were having a whole lot of fun with all the long balls and extra base hits. Coors Field, Sacramento.
Crazy. 1-1 coming to Casey. Ben's in there for a strike.
I think what really set the tone of that road trip, though, was taking 2 out of 3 in St. Louis against a real tough Cardinals team.
I agree. And had a very real opportunity to sweep him on that Sunday when Tyler Phillips was out-dueled on the mound. One-two coming here from Wu. 2-2. And one thing the Marlins have done really well lately that the Mariners cannot say the same about. Marlins have played much better on the road. They're now 21-25 away from Lone Depot Park, which is a far cry from what their record displayed about a month ago this time. Mariners have lost 8 of their last 11 away from T-Mobile Park. 2-2 misses, and with 2 outs now, Conine will be on the move at first. Marlins are 28-17 here at home from June 25th through July 23rd. Only 6 home games. That's 29 calendar days. It's just this homestand. Runner goes. Casey takes inside for ball 4. Terrific plate appearance for Owen Casey. 2 aboard with 2 out for Marcy now. And a quick message from Doral Kia.
Take advantage of a Pricito now on all of your favorite new Kia models. Like a new Kia K5, Sportage, Sorento, Soul, and more.
See, the Marlins have gotten Wu a little bit out of his game.
Yep.
A guy who's a fastball pitcher, 4-seamers. What did he threw? He threw that 3-2 slider to Owen Casey.
There's Marcy lined out to short, his first at bat as he takes strike 1 on the inside corner. Marcy is hitting 3 straights and snapping a 2 for 39 funk at the plate. Nothing he was going to do with that first pitch fastball from Wu. Wu's ERA is sitting at 4.24 after a shaky first couple of innings. So nice to see Marcy get off the schneid, hit that big homer in Sacramento. Just smiling from ear to ear. Marcy out in front of that slider. That caught one of the Mariners at the end of the far end of the dugout there down the first baseline.
Yeah, then he had that base hit, his first AB on Sunday, and then had to leave the game. Next time up, got hit in the knee.
And that was bone on bone. X-rays were negative. He is a tough cookie, old football player he is in high school. Whew. And he doesn't flinch there, even though that sinker's running in on that front knee at 97 miles an hour.
That's one of those bets you could have made. Sure thing. Yeah, Marcy will be in the lineup tonight.
As long as he can walk, he'll play. Wu is ready with his 53rd pitch. Not yet through the third. 2-2. That is a soft liner into right field. Big 2-out base hit from Jacob Marcy. Here comes Griffin Conine. He scores. 3-0. Marlins lead. Don't let him get hot.
Boy, if Jacob Marcy goes on a tear and gets hot, it's just more to the party. Remember that line drive he hit first time up? This one he might have gotten off the end of the bat, didn't hit as hard, but got himself a huge base hit with 2 out to drive in a run.
So 2 of the 3 runs now for the Marlins have come with 2 outs in this ball game. Here is Joe Mack, who grounded out to short in the second. Throw over to first. We'll see if Marcy, with 18 stolen bases, that still is good for the team lead, thinks about going here. Got some speed at third. If Marcy goes, will Raleigh throw through? We'll see.
That'll give us a little indication of how that knee is, too.
That's true. He's got a fairly healthy lead. He's not going. As Mack lays off a fastball. Just missed low. Here's your runners on. Casey at third, Marcy at first. They play Mack to pull, and Joe hits that foul. He was attacking a slider that time. If only he could just guide one through the left side here, because Emerson is playing him straight up the middle, and Crawford has to keep a fairly close eye on Casey at third. Look at that hole on the left side of the infield.
And look how close Emerson is to being in a shift mode.
Right. Close to committing a violation. And he bounces one to the right side. Young will throw him out, but the Marlins get another run. They do it on 2 hits. They lead 3-0. Top of the fourth inning, FPL brings you the scoreboard. Marlins with 3 runs on 7 hits, 3 turns at the plate. Boys coming back home feeling mighty darn fine. They are working on a win here tonight. It is brought to you by the Home Depot. And look at the best records in baseball, not since June 13th of 2026. June 13th of 2025. The Miami Marlins have one of the best 6 records in all of Major League Baseball. More wins than the Yankees, tied in the win percentage column. Mariners right up there as well.
You and I were talking before the game, Kyle. You had a great note on Clayton McCullough, too, since his taking over with the ball club winning.
Yeah, well, in general, over the course of these first 2 years, this is a guy that's led this team to more wins than losses.
Yeah.
And I don't understand why people continue to doubt Clayton's managerial abilities. He does an outstanding job leading the franchise. More often than not this season, he has pulled every right trigger when it comes to pinch hitting. And he and his staff are in lockstep with one another. And so too is the front office. And they're 49 and 42. This team is in playoff position. And I hope the fans recognize that, because Clayton deserves a lot of the credit here.
Yeah, I don't think there are any teams that are going to outwork the Marlins either.
Nope. It's a team-wide effort, and Clayton would be the first to push aside any credit where it might be due his way. But he and his staff have done a terrific job with this young group of men. Swing and a miss by J.P. Crawford. See you later. Second time tonight, Crawford has struck out. Make sure you celebrate Military Appreciation Night with the Marlins. Join us on Friday at 7:10 when the Marlins take on the Guardians. And score an exclusive Military Appreciation jersey with your ticket package. Presented by Warner Hoffman, Greg and Garcia, South Florida's injury law firm. You can get your tickets at marlins.com/military. As Meyer comes inside on a Rosarena, it's 1-0. Rosarena grounded out to Lopez in the first. He's got 41 RBIs, 19 stolen bases. He's having a really nice career as Randy Rosarena, who was recently named, as I mentioned earlier, to his 3rd All-Star team. Nice career. In his 8th season. He was the Rookie of the Year not too long ago. Soft liner into right, and the Mariners have their first hit of the ball game. It's the first hit allowed by Miami starting pitching in 10 1/3 innings.
Yeah, ball stayed up a little bit. Rosarena has been on a little bit of a hot streak. He's 5 for his last 9. He just stayed back and served it into right field.
Nothing Miami. Top of the 4th. Here's Canzone. He hits one in the air to left center field pretty deep. Marcy's going back, starting to run out of room, but he reels it in for out number 2. And Rosarena will retreat to first.
That's
Slowly.
a deep part out there at that PNC Bank sign. But Jacob Marcy just casually went after it and put it away.
Oh, with 2 out, here's Cal Raleigh. Even amidst a rotten season for the Mariners catcher, he is still a total threat at the plate as he takes a sweep around the corner for strike 1.
You know, even in his 60 home run season last year, he continued it. He hit 4 in the ALCS against Toronto.
Quick snap throw over to first.
Seattle doesn't have a lot of guys that'll run, but Rosarena is one of them.
Yeah. Leads the ball club with 19 stolen bases. Getting a little bit older, but he hasn't lost a whole lot of speed. He's got a big lead. And Meyer misses outside. Well, if he's going to think about running, he better be careful with Joe Mack behind the plate, who is second among catchers in all of baseball with 16 runners caught stealing. William Contreras is first in the league with 17. He's started 27 more games than Joe Mack. He's not going. There's a swing and a miss. It's 1-2 now.
Yeah, Joe Mack about 41% in throwing runners out. League average about 24.
Second in baseball with 27 fewer starts than the
already.
guy that's in first.
Yeah.
And caught stealing. It's insane. 1-2. There he goes. Here's the throw down to second. See you later, Joe Mack.
Talk about it, and it happens.
Why do they even bother? No chance. The Miami Marlins this week announced a comprehensive relief effort to support communities impacted by devastating earthquakes in Venezuela, including a $100,000 donation. And earlier this morning at the Global Empowerment Mission headquarters in Doral, Javier Sinoja, Otto Lopez, Clayton McCullough, his family, Caroline O'Connor, they were all on hand to help with the delivery of initial collection of relief supplies to the GEM headquarters. Alex Parker, the Marlins chief of brand, there as well as Javier Sinoja. Speaking of, leads things off here in the fourth. And you can join the Marlins in supporting Venezuela by purchasing your 50-50 raffle tickets during this Mariners series to help provide relief for those impacted by the recent earthquakes. One winner is going to take home 50% of the net proceeds, while the remaining funds will support relief earthquake efforts. You can buy your tickets at marlins5050.marlins.com. And additionally, we mentioned this on the road trip, you can buy $5 tickets for this entire series. I don't need to provide you with 100 different reasons why you should buy a $5 ticket to, number one, help out those in need. And by the way, $5 is going to get you an opportunity to watch the best team in baseball. There's your 50-50 raffle so far.
And watch the exciting Venezuelan player, Javi Sinoja.
Who pops this one up left side of the infield for J.P. Crawford, one away.
Yeah, I was able to chat briefly with Javi before the game. He was standing around the batting cage and talking to him about the devastation in Venezuela. But fortunately for him and his family's safe and everybody's A-OK.
Oh, I'll tell you what, Hud, I talked to you a little bit, but I know you weren't there. Heartbreaking to see that kid in the dugout in St. Louis talking.
Yes,
I think a lot of people, myself included, you don't understand what those people are going through. And then you see some of the Venezuelan ball players who have been impacted. You know, Wilson Contreras trying to explain some of his recent outbursts and some of what's been going on. It's just, it's heartbreaking for some of those young men playing. As Liam Hicks takes a changeup outside for ball one. But good on the Marlins. Marlins principal owner Bruce Sherman, president of business Caroline O'Connor, everybody else involved to make sure the Marlins are doing their small part to help those in need. Not too far from Miami in Venezuela as the 1-1 to Hicks hit foul. It was a changeup, 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, and I know you read the story about the young catcher with the Dodgers.
Oh,
Alfonso, you talk about heart-wrenching.
Same day he gets called up. It was his mother and sister. I know it was his sister.
Couple of family members.
A couple of family members they finally found buried in the rubble. And the kid goes out there and makes his debut. Just, and if that wasn't enough, Dodger Stadium, which feels like it seats 100,000, come to their feet when the kid comes to the plate. 2-2 to Hicks. That's a liner out towards left center. That'll split them both and go all the way to the wall. Liam is 3 for 3. He's got a double. Oh, he wants a triple. Here comes a throw. Not in time. Hicks was sniffing a triple. He's got a 3-bagger. What took so long, I wonder?
Always a good choice when there's just one out to get yourself over to third base.
He was ready to break it down at second. We'll have to get a look at the replay here to see what took so long out there in left center.
A little stutter step, I think, but just another beautiful swing. Liam 3 for 3. He's hit the ball all over. Got gap power. They had a little trouble as this ball kind of bounced upward. A couple of little bobbles, not a lot. And I think once he saw that, he decided to go to third.
And here is Kyle Stowers. He was looking to redeem himself after he struck out in the first and second. Runner at third. The infield is in. And the Marlins cash in their 4th run of the night. 1-1 on Kyle. Well, he has seen everything that Wu has to offer through 2 trips to the plate. This is his 3rd. Can he put something in play? Can he drive him in? Ooh.
Hey, we saw a wild pitch earlier. By the way, that was Liam's 3rd career triple. His 2nd this year. And it also, his 3 for 3, gets his average to 297.
Marlins have 3 runs on 8 hits. Stowers waits on a 2-1. Swing and a drive right field. On a line, sinking fast. Raley makes the catch. Here comes Hicks. He's going to score. Stowers gets robbed, but it amounts to a sac fly, and it's 4-0 Miami. That ball was scalded, but he finally timed up something from Wu at the perfect time.
Well, he made contact, and it's a little thing, but really nice base running by Liam Hicks. A lot of runners will go too early at third. They'll think that ball's going to sink. But line drive, fly ball, tag up. That's what you're always told. Line drive, he tags up after the ball's caught and is able to come in and score.
So the stretch of consecutive quality starts for the Mariners comes to an end. And the nightmare that is pitching on the road for Bryan Wu continues in game 1 of this 3-game series against the Marlins.
The other thing, it's going to be hard pressed for Wu to go 6 innings. And it's something that he's done 12 out of 17 times this year. And since 2025, he has the most games in the major leagues of 6 or more innings and 2 walks or fewer. 39 times he's done that.
You want to know the plate appearance in this game that really sticks out to me is the Owen Casey 2-out walk in the 3rd that set up the Marcy RBI single that forced Wu to throw more pitches in that inning as Lopez chops one foul. But I think that was also just a microcosm of what we have seen from this ball club all season long. Even when things at times weren't going well, they were just and have been in relentless pursuit of quality plate appearances and ABs. Make you work. 2-2. Chopper out towards second. Young's got that. Has to get rid of it quickly, and the side is retired. Marlins get a run on a hit, a triple from Hicks. It's 4-0 after 4. 4-0 after 4. Top of the 5th inning scoreboard brought to you by Werner Hoffman, Greg Andegarcia. So far, so good for Max Meyer, who's recorded 12 outs, given up 1 hit. Look at his outs by pitch type here, Hut.
Yeah, look at the 4-seamer. 6 of the outs on the 4-seamer. Talked about that, how that's been key for him to set up the sweeper and the slider.
He was perfect through 3, allowed a 1-out single to Arozarena in the 4th. But lo and behold, it was Randy Arozarena who tried to test the howitzer, which is the right arm of Joe Mack, and he promptly threw him out down the inning.
You know, the problem with the Arozarena right there, he wasn't listening to us.
You're right. We are reaching a point, though, I do believe, with Joe Mack's prowess to nab runners behind the plate, that teams will start to shut down the running game. I do think it's to that level now as Raleigh takes upstairs for ball 2. He's now caught 17 stealing, and he's allowed 23 stolen bases. That's a ridiculous percentage. Two and one on Raleigh, who hammers that past the diving Stowers down the right field line into the corner. Digging it out is Owen Casey. It's still rattling around, but Raleigh will pull into second with a double. He hasn't seen many of those this season. Leadoff base hit for the Mariners.
Yeah, he just hasn't seen many extra base hits. You know, I thought it was nicely played by Owen Casey. Once the ball kind of trickled past him a little bit, you also, as an outfielder, you know the speed of the runners, and Casey knows that Raleigh doesn't run that well. Now the ball gets away, But he came up then and just fired it quickly back into the cutoff man.
Just the 6th double of the season for Cal Raleigh, who piled up 24 doubles and 60 homers and 125 RBIs last year as Josh Naylor lays off a sinker downstairs for ball 1. 60 home runs last season for Cal Raleigh. Just incredible. Josh Naylor has found himself in some hot water lately with one of his former teammates with the Guardians and Austin Hedges. Those two were going at it. Naylor seemingly the other day was hit by a pitch and he kind of stuck that right elbow into it, and him and his old teammate Austin Hedges, who he actually was traded alongside, they played together for a long time, started to go at it from first and behind the plate, and Hedges was yelling at him, "Nobody likes you. Nobody likes you." And obviously that caught the ire of many on social media. Naylor hits one sharply to second, eats up Edwards, but a big hang with him there. He's got it on the backhand. Going second to third is Raleigh, but Naylor's out 4-3. Yeah, there's one away. Make sure you join the Marlins for a pregame Sunday brunch on July 26 at 1:40, presented by Free AF. A special package includes a game ticket, a 2-course brunch, 2 hours of bottomless mimosas, plus unlimited soft drinks, coffee, and cafecito. Get your tickets now at marlins.com/brunch. I'm sure that's a concoction you want to try. Multiple cafecito and unlimited mimosas.
What's your first go-to at a brunch?
You know, probably a freshly squeezed orange juice. We'll start there and we'll start to settle in after that.
You're going for the orange juice first?
Freshly squeezed. Yes, sir. Yourself? Sorry, I didn't ask.
I'm after the pancakes first.
Yeah?
You know, I might wash it down with an orange juice, but
anything in the orange juice?
It depends on what time the brunch starts.
Well, leading 4-0, the Marlins infield's going to play back here.
Yeah, this is a situation. Okay, ground ball in the infield. You're going to give the Mariners the run. You already have a 4-0 lead. Outs become very important.
Raley takes high for ball 2. This is the first inning. The Mariners are really making Max Meyer work with any type of threat on the base paths. Liner to center. Here comes Marcy. He makes the catch. Raleigh's going to tag. And the throw coming in towards the plate, not in time. I think the Marlins want to take a look at third. Felt to me like Raleigh may have gotten a head start. Did he leave early? No, but it was close. I wonder if the Marlins will take a look at this. They will not. Boy, the entirety of the infield was convinced.
Yeah, there were a lot of guys
left early.
A lot of guys pointing over there. Let's see.
Oh, maybe. It was close, but it looks like he left right on time. So a sac fly for Raley has given the Mariners their first run of the ball game. It's 4-1 now. Oh, look out. Cole Young 0 for 1, grounded out in the third. It's in his second big league season, and Young hits one deep to right field. Owen Casey goes back into the corner, looking up, and it's gone for Young. That's his 10th homer of the year. And the Mariners have chopped this 4-0 lead in half here in the 5th. It's 4-2.
Yeah, Young had a 2-homer game about a week ago against the Angels. So all of a sudden, just like that, it's a 2-run game. So Young took care of that 4-seamer. The location wasn't quite where they wanted it, and a hot hitter took care of it.
And the first row of the seats out there and right, here's Robles. They have, by the way, in the bottom of the 4th, charged Victor Robles with his first error of the year. Speaking of Robles.
So they give Liam a double?
Double for Liam. Goes to third on the E8. Scores on the sac fly. That run is unearned. Check swing dribbler, 0-2 on Robles. Make sure you stay tuned till the 7th inning for the stretch, brought to you by Celsius.
You know, Victor Robles, one of those guys, he's playing in his 66th game against the Marlins. We saw him all those years when he was with Washington.
A very respectable .274 hitter in his first 65 games against Miami. 6 homers, 23 RBIs. He was the starting center fielder for the historic 2019 Washington Nationals ball club. That year he hit 17 homers, stole 28 bases, a Gold Glove finalist. He had some really good years. And Robles flies one out towards the gap in right center. Should get Marcy out of the inning, but he allows a couple of runs. We're halfway home. It's 4-2.
Marlins lead 4-2 here in the 5th. Today's starter for the Mariners, Bryan Woo, just set the T-Mobile Park record for consecutive scoreless innings. 32 straight out in Seattle. That broke a record held by Jamie Moyer and King Felix Hernandez, who's actually here tonight watching Woo. But that said, Woo has been pretty dreadful on the road. He's known for his introspective press conferences, and I checked his out after his last start because he still talked about the road struggles despite setting the record. He gave one of my favorite self-reflective answers I've ever heard, guys. He said, honestly, I think the answer is that there is no answer. Yogi Berra-esque.
Yes, it is. Thank you, Jeremy. Xavier Edwards leading things off. That flashes off the leather of Naylor. Here's a throw to first. That's not in time. They challenged to play at first with Edwards running earlier. That one rattled off the cage of Naylor, and it deflected perfectly to Young, but they're not going to get him this time.
Yeah, I don't think no challenge. I think he beat that one out and should be a base hit.
Should be a base hit, right? Clearly safe there. It was hit fairly hard towards Naylor, but only 82 miles an hour off the bat. I don't know. The more I look at that one, Hut, might be a play that should be made in the major leagues. We'll see if they go hit or error.
There's quite a career for King Felix, by the way. 15-year career, all with Seattle. 6-time All-Star, Cy Young winner.
I know it was of much debate on Sunday, but King Felix authored the 23rd perfect game in Major League history on August 15th of 2012. Domingo Germán the latest in June of 2023. 15 seasons for Felix, 6-time All-Star, won the Cy Young in 2010. We were not working the game, Hut, and don't need to get too far down the rabbit hole, but just curious to hear your take after the festivities on Sunday with Yuri. 1 ball, 1 strike to count on Conine. And pitch coming. Hits it foul.
You know, I think the Yuri situation, to me, is cut and dry, but you break it down as a fan and what you want for your ball club. And as I've told people, you want Yuri Perez healthy and pitching strong games in September and possibly postseason. So because of that, making just his 3rd start after an IL stint, having undergone Tommy John surgery, because of all that, you don't want to trust it. But I will say this, as a fan, I understand why fans are upset, but I think Clayton McCullough made the right decision.
Yes, he did, and that right there is the big picture. I know this will be unpopular, but Sunday in with Yuri, as Casey shows bunt, pulls back for a strike. That kid's health in this Marlins season was more important than a perfect game. And I know it's a big part of history. Totally understand, but Clayton made the right decision. So we move along. We'll see Yuri one more time before the All-Star break. The 0-1 to Casey misses high. He absolutely walloped the homer back in the 2nd.
Crazy part about that game is that, you know, they're bombs away. The Marlins had 8 runs, and all of a sudden you go, oh, wait a minute. Yuri hasn't given up a base hit or allowed a base run.
Nah, Casey not happy. He just got underneath that slider, sends it high in the air out towards left center. Backpedaling was Robles, tagging is Edwards, and the throw was cut off. Boy, that's heads-up base running by Edwards. who saw Robles stumbling onto the warning track and felt like he could make it to second, and he did. But they called him out, and the Marlins will challenge. They called Edwards out.
I think the ball was cut off from the throw from Robles. In the slide, I think a little too soon.
Oops.
It took him a while, but I think he got the hand there before the tag. It's like you want to tell youngsters to close your eyes on this. You don't want to slide like this. I think the hand's on the bag.
Yeah.
I think he's safe.
And the Mariners are walking back out of the field. He looked like Shamu when they go up onto the deck, but there's no water. You just get stuck.
Yeah, this is not going to be on a how-to slide video.
Right.
Landing, hands got down, legs go up. I know over the years I've been involved in some landings like that after long road trips.
Right. Yeah,
but I think he's safe.
There could be some masking tape out there near second base tomorrow from his teammates giving him a little ribbing.
I always remember that back in the old football stadium. Cliff Floyd made a great catch against the wall, ran into the wall, and the next day they had tape in the shape of the body, right in the same area.
After review, the call's been overturned. The runner is safe. Miami retains.
All right, as we thought.
At least Floyd's probably wasn't as bad as Chad Qualls. The call is overturned out there at second.
X is saying, all right, you don't have to show it again. But it was a good base running effort to get there with 2 out.
Probably a little embarrassed. Well, the Marlins successfully overturned the challenge, and a chance for Marcy. Already has 1 RBI single as he takes strike 1 on the inside corner. He put together a quality AB in the third with 2 outs and 2 on, I'll tell you. Started to come out of it a little bit in Sacramento on the road trip. Coming out of it a little bit more here tonight. Stacking days as he hits that foul. He finds himself down 0-2.
I think one of the things that hit he got in Sacramento before he got hurt was a line drive into left field, and that's always good to see.
Oh, 2 now from Wu. By the way, so lost in all the shuffle of the challenge, it was still a nice tag up by Edwards.
Yeah. Oh, good base run.
Yeah, very good. Just trying to stretch out that back a little bit. Probably didn't feel all that good with that dive. So for Wu, this will be pitch 87 of his outing. And a ground ball to second. Young's got it, and nothing doing for the Marlins here in the 5th, who lead 4-2. We go to the 6th.
At the Home Depot.
Let's check out our Ocean Bank Making Waves minor league report. Carson Milbrandt, the lone player to represent the Marlins in the MLB All-Stars Futures game. You can check out some of the stats there. He spent 3 seasons in Beloit before making the jump to both Pensacola and Jacksonville. Last year I chatted with his manager up there in Beloit, Angel Espada. He referred to him as a bulldog, a guy who wants to compete more than anybody else. And Milbrandt credited the throw nasty strikes mentality for helping him evolve, guys.
Nasty strikes has found its all the way to, itself all the way to the major leagues, where the Marlins have done plenty of that this year. Thank you, Jeremy. Nice to have you with us tonight. And thank you to all of you joining us on Marlins.tv, powered by Major League Baseball. Marlins with a 4-2 lead over the Mariners. Marlins got 2 in the second, 1 in the third, 1 in the fourth. Colt Emerson lays off a sweeper.
It's always good to see some of the nice minor league awards. The Marlins June Next Wave Awards. Saw those the other day. Cam Canarella, kind of watching his career. Hitter of the month.
tell you what, under Peter Bendick's watchful eye, his guidance and leadership, I think you'd be hard-pressed to find another period in this organization's history they've been as deep as they are currently in the minor leagues. Now, I don't know. Maybe you'll find other periods where there were these 5-tool prospects. If you're thinking the Ozunas, the Yelich's, the Real Mutos, the Stantons, those type of guys. But at least for my money, the organization, top to bottom, has never been deeper and littered with good talent. As the 3-1 to Emerson, missed inside for ball 4. And Max Meyer has walked his first of the night. So Jeremy was telling you about Carson Milbrandt. We can speculate a little bit further because on the 4th of July, Jansen Junk made a rehab outing for AAA Jacksonville. Went 3 innings and allowed a run on 5 hits, no walks, 3 strikeouts. And earlier this afternoon here at Lone Depot Park, he was out throwing a pitch design session. He is very close to returning. Here is J.P. Crawford, and he takes a called strike. If you look at Fangraphs, they have actually penciled in Jansen Junk to face Bryce Miller on Thursday. That is a very real possibility, although the Marlins have not confirmed anything on that end yet. But when we know something, you will as well. Crawford has struck out a pair of times tonight. Max Meyer starting to labor a little bit going back to the beginning of the 5th.
You go back to last inning. And to see him fall behind a little bit, we didn't see that through the first 4. And then issuing the leadoff walk here to Emerson.
Soft liner to left. Here comes Conine into a dive, and he can't make the catch. Nicely done at the very least to keep that ball in front of him. And the tying run is aboard for the Mariners here in the 6th.
You know, we've come so used to seeing Griffin Conine make those plays. I think this ball just died on him. It just died on him. He thought he'd get there a little bit quicker. He couldn't quite get there. Now, one hop, he didn't get there. So, yeah, that ball really died on him.
You know, a bigger conversation point here, and you had mentioned this earlier, Max Meyer already setting career highs in a multitude of categories, including games started. He'll make 2 more this week, including tonight. Randy Arozarena takes a high strike call. They'll challenge. It looks like this one's coming the other way. This is a Mariners challenge. ABS powered by T-Mobile. Again, I think Arozarena's got a nice case here. It's a high slider called to strike. That is a ball. Hut, I will ask you, how closely will Max Meyer start to be monitored? He's made 19 starts, including tonight, with another 11 to 12 to go. That's going to be a lot.
Yeah, very closely. Very closely.
Well, Emerson bouncing off second. Got to be careful. And that missed inside on Joe Mack. Did you see him take a peek at the inside corner of the plate there, Joe? Just to see if he wanted to challenge that or not?
Just to see. Yeah, because in the case of Max Meyer, he's another arm that you want ready to be strong in September.
Oh, there's ball 3. He's starting to lose it a little bit out of nowhere. And there is activity in the bullpen for Miami. Michael Peterson loosening. The last thing you want to do is start walking the Mariners, and they are hard pressed to score runs and hit the ball. They are 27th in average coming into the night. Oh, there's ball 4. Meyer's in trouble. Now that 4-0 lead turned 4-2 is feeling a little bit tenuous. And Clayton McCullough is telling Joe Mack, I'll tell you when to go to the mound. Be patient here. Just walk out there and walk slowly, and let's buy Michael Peterson another pitch or 2. So the question now is that going to be it? And I think it might be.
Yeah, I think it might be. And you can get a lot of time for Michael Peterson down there because Joe going out. Now here comes Clayton. That will allow him a few more pitches. And I think in looking out there, I think he's ready. But it went quickly for Max Meyer here in this 6th inning.
He's a bulldog. He's not happy. He just walked off the back of the mound, but he's brought this upon himself here in the 6th. And Max is coming out. Clayton's going to take the ball from him, and he's going to Michael Peterson. Big situation coming up when we return. Miami Marlins baseball is brought to you by Doral Kia, home of the Pricito. And by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. Marlins in a real pinch here. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Owen Casey with a big homer tonight to get the offensive party started for the Marlins. But the Marlins are in trouble here. Max Meyer, he allowed the leadoff double to Cal Rowley in the 5th. And then he just had a hard time recovering. He's issued a pair of walks and a single here in the 6th. Bases loaded for Seattle with nobody out. And here's Michael Peterson, who just pitched 4 times on the road trip. Last worked on Sunday. First pitch here to Dominic Canzone, misses up and away. He had to work out of a mess that Lake Bacher left him on Sunday afternoon.
Yeah, he was busy a couple of times in Sacramento, once in Denver, once in St. Louis. But he's done a nice job. He's filled a really key role for Clayton out of that bullpen.
Well, that's a good slider there, and the count even at 1 ball and 1 strike. This is as much about limiting the damage as it's not necessarily about finding a way to get out of this unscathed. Marlins infield is back. They would gladly take a 2-for-1 here. And a bouncer to first. Stowers is coming to the plate, and a pick by Mack. They got him. Oh my gosh.
How about the pick?
The kid is unbelievable, Tommy. The kid is flat out unbelievable. He just saved Kyle Stowers bacon at first. And the Mariners will not challenge, and a king-size first out here in the 6th inning for Michael Peterson.
I tell you, I'm really surprised Kyle came up and went to the plate. He got the nice 1 hop, but keep in mind that's a catcher's mitt. That's not a big outfielder's glove or a first baseman's glove.
Stowers short-armed it a little bit.
Yeah, came up short, the 1 hop, nice stretch, and all of a sudden Joe Mack now becomes a first baseman, stretching out and making that play.
And here is Cal Rowley. Base is still loaded. Now there's 1 out to pitch. Oh, he was all over a fastball, 0-1. So they force out Crawford at home. Emerson's at 3rd. Arosarena at 2nd. Canzone is on at 1st after the fielder's choice. Rowley 1 for 2 tonight, doubled and scored in the 5th on the Raley sac fly to center. There's the defense for Miami.
Obviously playing him to pull. Michael Peterson leads the bullpen with 14 holds. He'd certainly like to get one here.
He'd also like Rowley to bounce into his 5th double play of the year. But now he's going to go for that strikeout. He's ahead of him 1-2. And this is where Peterson has got that swing and miss stuff this season. He's got it oftentimes, Hut, with that high elevated fastball. He loves to go up there in these 2-strike situations.
Yeah, he does. He is a guy who can pitch up in the zone because he has that kind of velocity.
1-2. Got him! Oh, a fastball at 99. Take a seat, Cal Rowley. There's 2 away.
Not only does he have the velocity with his height, extension, and length, and all of that put together, the delivery, he just rides that heat up in the zone.
Well, shame on me for suggesting this was about limiting the damage and not finding a way to get out of it, because Peterson is on the verge of doing just that with Josh Naylor at the plate. But another dangerous bat at the dish for the Mariners. The pitch misses low, ball 1. Naylor's 0 for 2. Tying run at 2nd. Peterson trying to save the day on in relief of Max Meyer. The 1-0. Fouled off. That was a 100-mile-an-hour fastball.
So Peterson facing certainly a guy who knows these situations. He had a big ALCS for Seattle last year against Toronto. Hit 3 home runs, hit over 400.
1-2. Well, Naylor is striking out percentage-wise the least he has in the last couple of years. Striking out only about 12% of the time. He's also not hitting the ball that hard either. Oh, nice Tuesday night crowd at Lone Depot Park will rise to their feet here in the 6th as Naylor asks for time. terrific to see some of the support the Marlins are getting coming off that terrific road trip.
I like to see that. I like to see that. Players love it.
And the crowd gets into it once again. Peterson trying to get out of it. And time called again. What's going on? Come on. Telling Peterson he's got to lock guys with Naylor.
Naylor is one of those guys that in his career has learned as a hitter how to work the pitch clock to his favor.
Bouncing ball up the middle. Edwards has got it, and Peterson gets out of it. He inherits a bases loaded, nobody out jam, and Michael Peterson gets out of it unscathed here in the 6th. What a relief effort turned in by Michael Peterson.
All season long.
The bottom of the 6th inning scoreboard, 4-2 Marlins leading. It's brought to you by Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. And there's a first time for everything, folks. That was the first time in Michael Peterson's career that he inherits the bases loaded and he gets out of it with any damage being done.
I love that. You know, when a guy hits a home run, you always see him talking to 3 or 4 other guys. Same situation right there for Michael. Big Mike, what a job getting out of that bases loaded jam.
We'll see ultimately down the road as Jose A. Ferrer, the old Nationals, on to pitch here for Seattle. If that half inning is the difference in this ball game, we have a long way to go. But those opportunities, and Clayton McCullough has talked about it, as you get a look at the numbers for Jose A. Ferrer this season, his 42nd appearance. Those opportunities, such as the one we just saw from Peterson, just as good of a save. High chopper out towards short. Nice pick by Emerson. One away. Javier Sanoja coming to the plate. Time now to take a look at tonight's youth player of the ball game. This is Luke, whose favorite Marlin is Javier Sanoja. Luke plays for the PLO Bulldogs, a Pembroke Lakes optimist. He loves watching his sports. When he grows up, wants to be a ball player. I see that stance. I see a little Javi Sanoja in him.
Yeah.
Javi bunts one off of Raleigh.
You know, it was great seeing Michael Peterson do what he did. It goes back to the road trip and the way the ball club played. Everybody contributed. We saw defense, saw great hitting. There was no question about that. Starting pitching, the bullpen did their job for the most part. There were a couple of glitches, not many.
Fly ball center field. Robles dials it in. He's got it, 2 away.
Victor Robles, always one of those center fielders who could play shallow because he goes back on the ball really well. I think he came up. Didn't he come up about the same time as Soto with the Nationals?
Robles debuted.
Those guys were in the outfield together
when he was 20 years old on September of 2017. Soto debuted in May of 2018, so just into the next season. Yes, you're absolutely correct. Now, Soto, when he came up, he was 19 years old. He and the Mets desperately trying to turn things around to save their season. Going to be tough to do. They do lead the Royals 9-4 in the 4th inning tonight. But of more pressing matters on the out-of-town scoreboard, the Atlanta Braves are losing in Pittsburgh 7-2. That game's in the bottom of the 6th. So if this score were to hold here at Lone Depot Park and the Braves score holds, Miami would wake up tomorrow morning just 3 games back of the division. They'd only be 2 games back in the win column of Atlanta. How about this note? The Marlins tonight have a chance to reach 50 wins before the All-Star break for just the 4th time in franchise history. There are your National League East standings. And Hicks strikes out looking on a sinker. No challenge there. And a perfect bottom of the 6th for Ferrer.
Yeah. Show up to blow up and sew up up the game. So what they pull up or throw up a game. Told her to pull up, then roll up the flame. We want the good life, you know what we came. Don't know what we look like, but they know the name. Copy the lingo, cause they know the slang. We want the moolah, they want the fame. You want familiar, we not the same. Really, it's irrelevant, we were showing intelligence. Rhyme to your resident, looking just like a pelican. Everyday competitive, everyday repetitive. If you're not trying to proceed, you just settle in. Nah, that was irrational, really not natural.
John King takes over for the Marlins. Luke Raley, first pitch swinging. He slices one fair into the left field corner. And Luke Raley leads off the 7th inning with extra bases for the Mariners. Tying run coming to the plate facing John King. That just stayed fair down there. 9th double of the year for Raley.
Yeah, it's really hard to hit that ball as a left-handed hitter and keep it from slicing foul, especially off a lefty. But Raley with a good job in doing that.
And outside of Robles, who's on deck, King gets a string of lefties here until the Rosarenas due up, which is why Tyler Zuber has gotten up just in case it gets there. Marlins certainly hoping it doesn't get that far. They'd probably be in a bit of a bind. Here is Cole Young, who hit his 10th homer of the season in the 5th inning. A solo shot off of Max Meyer, who allowed a couple of runs, both earned on 4 hits and 5 innings of work. And I would imagine he'll be taking Michael Peterson out for a dinner of his choosing after this one tonight. Swing and a miss.
It's always fun to kind of look at the big picture for relievers. There are the numbers for John King over the last 18 games. An ERA about 2.20 in over 20 innings.
He did allow a couple of runs in his last outing in Colorado, allowed a home run. Young lifts this in the air to right field. This is deep. Casey's back onto the warning track with room, and he makes the catch. Young just missed a game-tying 2-run homer. Going second to third is Raley. Off the bat, Hud, I thought we might be in trouble.
Yeah, he was out front of the slider, fooled a little bit, so didn't get everything into it, but still drove Owen Casey almost all the way to the wall.
Almost had his back up against him.
Take a few steps on that track, you know you're getting close.
And let's see what the Marlins elect to do with the infield defense here with Victor Robles coming to the plate. Do you willingly give them a run for an out? Will they play halfway? They will play halfway.
They're kind of halfway right now.
Swing and a miss by Robles. You've got the lefty Emerson, the youngster, the rookie on deck. Crawford would follow. This is outside, 1-1 on Robles, who's 0 for 2. So look at the Mariners in-game box score. Handful of Mariners with 1 hit. They've got 5 in total. Marlins trying to hang on. They led this game 4-0. Three and 1. Don't miss a moment this season with Marlins.tv, presented by Werner, Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia. Stream the entire season within Marlins territory. Watch games at home or on the go. Stay connected all year long. Visit Marlins.tv for details. Start streaming today. 3-1. Chopper towards third. Runner has to stay put. Sonoha unloads a throw to first. In time. Got him. 2 out. Why can the Marlins do it again? First it was bases loaded with nobody out in the 6th. And then Raley with the leadoff double here in the 7th.
Good job by Javi to get that chopper. Realized that Raley wasn't going. Took a little peek at him. And then made the nice strong throw over to first.
Here's Colt Emerson.
Yeah, the Mariners tonight 0 for 6 with runners in scoring position.
Marlins 1 for 6, but leading by a pair of runs. Swing and a miss by Emerson. Israeli at third. He led off the inning with a double. Bouncing ball to second. A leadoff double by Raley. That's all. John King gets out of a mess here in the seventh. Marlins lead 4-2 as we go to the seventh inning stretch. Brought to you by Celsius.
Welcome to the stretch presented by Celsius Energy Drinks. Key moment in the game today, and it has played out all season long. The Marlins bullpen has come through time and time again. Clayton McCullough decided tonight to pull his all-star Max Meyer, and the result showed because Michael Peterson, with the bases loaded, comes in, immediately gets the first out, as Kyle Stowers throws a bullet home that Joe Mack picks. So that's to get one out in the inning. And then he ended up stranding two more. Would you believe that Peterson's asked to get Cal Raleigh out? He does on a strikeout, and then he gets the final out in the inning. And that's where we stand right now as the Marlins lead 4-2 thanks to the bullpen and Michael Peterson. We'll be back to Marlins baseball after a quick word from our friends at Celsius.
4-2 Marlins lead as we go to the bottom of the seventh inning, a game one of a three-game series this week between the Marlins and the visiting first place Seattle Mariners. Let's look at the box score. Marlins with 4 runs on 9 hits. The Mariners with 2 runs on 5 hits. Marlins led 4-0. Mariners got 2 back in the fifth. We just showed you moments ago some Herculean relief efforts so far by the Marlins here tonight. Pitching change here for Dan Wilson. Edward Bazardo is on to pitch. He pitched in 5 of the 7 Venezuelan World Baseball Classic games this year.
Hasn't affected him during the season, it doesn't look like. You know, we talked about the starting pitching for the Mariners and how they're able to go deep into games, and that's carried over to their bullpen. Their bullpen has the 5th best ERA in baseball, and they've thrown the fewest innings. So they have fresh arms down there because of the way their starters have pitched.
That 5th best ERA in baseball, you alluded to, a 3.54 ERA from this bullpen. Marlins close behind them. Their bullpen ERA 3.76, only getting better here tonight.
And I'm sure the Marlins bullpen has thrown more innings.
Yes. Oh God, yes. Here's Kyle Stowers, who recorded the sacrifice line out to right in the 4th. He was robbed by Raley. That one misses inside ball 3. Now, the one thing we saw on the road trip the Marlins were so very good at was finding a way to get insurance runs late in the game. Can they do it again here tonight? Can they scratch across another run?
How big was that 9th run Sunday?
Crazy big. Little dribbler back to the mound, wasn't it? Or out towards second, maybe. Marlins going to start to get some of the big boys loose in the bullpen. You know, Pete Fairbanks is probably chomping at the bit to get himself right. Stowers facing a 3-2 count. And the pitch. We'll do it again. The Mariners coming off back-to-back shutouts. That goes down the drain here tonight. Marlins have won 13 of their last 17 games. Trying to make it 14 of 18. Stowers bounces one up the middle. On the backhand long throw. That's by Young. They got him. One away. Well, if you want to take home a piece of Marlins history, you can on Saturday at 4:10. It's the Legends Pin Series. And this time, your Legends level seat gets you a limited edition Charles Johnson collector's pin. You can get your tickets at marlins.com/pin series. Levon in the house tonight. CJ in the house on Saturday. Otto Lopez is in the house every night. He's 1 for 3. Let's take a look at our Coors Light cold hard facts. Plenty of them. Which one shall we choose this evening? On multi-hit games before the All-Star break since 2015, Lopez with 39. Bobby Witt with 39 a couple of years ago as Lopez chops one foul.
Well, let's see. If he gets one here, it'll be 40. Saw Charles Johnson in that video throwing out some runners. 4-time Gold Glover, CJ.
Be a nice photographic opportunity if him and Joe Mack are chopping it up before the ball game Saturday. Otto with far more multi-hit games than hitless games this season as he waits on a 1-1. He has been hitless in 18 games this season. He's playing in his 90th game of the year tonight. Marlins trying to hang on here in game 1. Braves down 10-2 in Pittsburgh. Popped him up. Just got underneath that sinker. And Robles stumbles and makes the catch. 2 out. That was a very aggressive play by Robles. Looked like Raley was camped out underneath it there.
Well, Raley did the proper thing. The center fielder's calling it. Let him take it.
Here comes Xavier Edwards, who's 1 for 3 with a single. Bizzardo on in relief of Ferrer, who took over for Brian Wu. That clipped Raleigh 0-1. Wu went 5 innings and allowed 3 earned, 4 in total, 9 hits, a walk, 5 strikeouts, making his first career start against the Marlins tonight.
Yeah, one of the few times that he hasn't gone 6. Talked about how he does that, has done it. Last year, Brian Wu started the season with 24 consecutive games of 6 or more innings.
It's just incredible. And now the Mariners' 44th quality start of the season will have to be put on hold at least until tomorrow night. That is amazing, though. But the Mariners pitching does take a step back when they leave the Pacific Northwest. Edwards was ready to challenge because he thought Chris Siegel, the home plate umpire, was going to call that strike 3.
And Bizzardo thought it was strike 3. He was headed toward the dugout a couple of steps.
It's been an eventful night on the base pass for Xavier Edwards, who dribbles a 1-2 splitter foul. Marlins trying to hang on for their 50th win of the season. Now 1-2, 2-out pitch. This is for ball 2.
Some pretty good takes by Xavier.
Edward Bizzardo pitching in his 6th major league season with his 3rd team. This is his 4th with the Mariners. And he strikes out Edwards with a sinker, and the side is retired. Let's go to the 8th. Still 4-2 Miami. This copyrighted telecast is proudly presented by authority of the Miami Marlins. It may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts or descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the Miami Marlins. Nice tune, nice shot of the Clevelander. Top of the 8th, and John King stays out there for the Marlins. And the question now for Clayton McCullough is, do you let him just face Crawford, or Rosarena, who is on deck, is ever so slightly worse against the lefties, and then Canzone has the reverse splits. He's better against lefties. So we'll see what Clayton does here.
Yeah, and then you have the switch hitter, Cal Raleigh. He's struggled both sides of the plate this year. I don't know if Calvin Fauché would be throwing if he wasn't going to make the move with a Rosarena.
Right, I agree with you there. Ooh, could have challenged that one. 1 ball, 1 strike on Crawford. There's a Rosarena. John King has worked 2 innings once this season, and that was recently on July 2nd. 1-2 on Crawford. Marlins TV post-game show with Craig Mish. Rod Allen is coming up shortly, hopefully after a Marlins win. All 2 on Crawford. Two. Foul.
Yeah, I think Clayton's going to make the move after Crawford.
Bring Fauché on for a Rosarena, then hopefully just Canzone.
First things first, though, you want to see John King put away Crawford.
It's 1 batter at a time. 3-2. The Mariners have brought the tying run not just to the plate, but they've had the tying run on base in each of the last couple of innings. To the plate in the 7th, on base in the 6th. 3-2 misses high for ball 4, and King has issued a leadoff walk. It doesn't backfire on Clayton, but he was certainly hoping his lefty could dispose of the lefty. And now Calvin Fauché will come on and inherit a runner here in the top of the 8th. Marlins leading the Mariners by 2. Clayton will go to the bullpen. Bullpen has been great tonight. We'll see if Calvin Fauché can continue that trend when we return. Well, the 2 teams that separate themselves the furthest in the United States are the Marlins and the Mariners. There's T-Mobile Park. And however you'd like to get here, I would safely assume you'd hop on a bird. 2,734 miles away sits Lone Depot Park. Boston, San Francisco, a good one. Boston, Sacramento, Boston, LA, and Miami, San Francisco. It's a long flight, especially when you go east to west. It just never ends. It's a full 6.5 out there to Seattle. They did last year. Here's Randy Rosarena. And here is Calvin Fauché hot. And again, Marlins bullpen trying to stand tall. They've had a lot of work to do here tonight.
Well, what Clayton would like to see out of Calvin Fauché, he gets over 50% ground balls. He'd love to see that hard ground ball turn into a double play.
Speed at first, but with the tying run at the plate, safely assume Crawford not going anywhere, especially when you consider the fact who's catching for the Marlins. 1-1 coming. Ooh, boy, was he tardy on that cutter.
He tied him up. That almost was a backup cutter. That's why it tied him up.
Wow.
He thought it was going to be out over the plate a little bit, and it stayed right in.
4-2 Marlins, top 8, runner at first, nobody out, tying run at the plate. Pitch misses low. Fauché worked once in St. Louis, twice in Colorado, once in Sacramento. Oh, he hit him. Hit him with a changeup. He probably lost feeling in that arm. The way he's holding on to his wrist there.
Yeah, at that point, he's not thinking changeup doesn't make any difference right there.
That was a hard changeup, too. It didn't get him on the wrist, though, did it? I think he's just lost feeling in his arm. Well, he's in a heaping pile of pain, though, isn't he? Thought it was like the upper bicep, tricep area. Let's see where it hit him, though. Huh. Got him on the protective padding, which is good.
Kind of on that elbow, you know, that funny bone that you get numbed up there.
Just lost feeling in it.
Wasn't funny right now for him.
It's not a laughing matter at all. Well, luckily he had that padding. I think he's probably slowly starting to get some feeling back in that arm. Looks like his eyes are welting.
I think he also realizes the importance for him to stay in the game.
Right.
For his ball club.
Yep. I agree with you. It's a very slow walk to first for Arozarena. So now the tying run is aboard for the Mariners here in the 8th. Dan Wilson is asking him multiple times, are you sure you're okay? Boy, you can see how red and bloodshot Arozarena's eyes have gotten. Because he was in so much pain, it was probably making him tear up a little bit. Oh, he just continues the pace. Oof. I better be careful here. Now you got speed on board. And Fauché cannot lose focus on those runners. Here is Canzone. Swings through a cutter for strike 1. Strike 2.
A couple of good cutters from Calvin Fauché.
Like, can this Marlins bullpen find their way out of a mess again?
That one got a piece of Joe Mapp.
Yeah. Right knee. Even with all those big old pads and all that gear, it still stings. Big old deep breath. Maybe a couple. A tough son of a gun there, a couple of them.
Little courtesy sweep by Chris Siegel, home plate umpire.
Now thinking 2 on Canzone, who faced Peterson in his last at bat and grounded into a fielder's choice at first. Good pick by Joe.
You think about that too, especially after he just took one off the knee. Now he's got to get back there and made a real nice pick.
Crawford at second, Arozarena at first. He struck him out on a curveball. And there's one away.
We saw a couple of good cutters, but then picking up some spin, he might have thought cutter, but the curveball slower and well out of the zone got him to commit. A good pitch by Calvin.
And a terrific block behind the plate. So these are the big bats right here. This is danger time for the Marlins again. Raleigh batting. Bounces one foul. Raleigh was batting with the bases loaded in the 6th, and he struck out for the 2nd time tonight. Doubled and scored in the 5th. Really doesn't matter which way you cut it up. He really hasn't been good facing righties or lefties this year. And He's behind the count, 0-2. He is better against righties, but again, that's saying whatever you make of it. He's batting just 172 against righties, opposed to a 143 batting average against lefties.
Really a couple of good cutters, the same way that Calvin got ahead of Canzone. Some good cutters inside, just a little bit off the plate.
Now the 0-2. Well, you just have to wonder if he were to throw a couple of more of those right there, would Raleigh offer at one?
Well, remember, he got Calzone to chase it.
That was a cutter in the dirt.
Boy, it's been work for Joe Mack back there.
He needed the off day.
Last through hitters, yeah.
Still seems a little limp too. So from 0-2 to 2-2 with Naylor on deck. Tying run at first. Arozarena still fiddling with that elbow. He popped him up foul. If you take a look, and there's Arozarena. He's still, I don't know about what, maybe it's even tightening up. We'll keep an eye on him. Maybe he can't continue. Maybe he can't go back to the outfield. Raleigh hanging tough.
Remember, Michael Peterson got him to just go after high heat, struck him out in the 6th inning.
Pitch 7 coming. Did that one get him? No. Close. Now it's full.
That was close.
Good call.
Yep, he held it.
Now it's full. Raleigh has seen 7 offerings from Fauché, and he has seen everything he's got. And now there's a pitch com issue. And I believe it's been rectified. Crawford still at second. Arozarena at first. He's the tying run. There is speed on the bases. Fauché with the 3-2 to Raleigh. We'll do it again.
He's gone with the sweeper a couple of times. Some cutters. And Raleigh's giving him quite a battle. There's the mix.
It's everything he's got. Raleigh to right. Casey looking up, and it's off the fence. 1 run will score. Arozarena will stop at third. Cal Raleigh with an RBI double. It's 4-3. Cal Raleigh wins a 9-pitch at bat.
It's amazing the more you watch this game, when a hitter's up there and fouls off so many pitches, it turns into his favor a little bit. That was a pretty good pitch. It was down in the zone, but because Raleigh had seen so many pitches from Calvin Fauché, he was right down on it. Didn't get it all, but got it over the head of Owen Casey, and enough to bring in 1 run.
Now we'd have to take another look, but did Owen Casey potentially deke the runners enough to keep Arozarena a little unsettled between first and second? Because off the bat, the way Casey was positioning himself, I thought maybe he had a play on that ball. So I do have to wonder if there was a heady play at all. Let's see here. I don't know.
Well, first of all, I like the way Owen turned. Now he just turned to play it, make sure he got himself in position, because when it comes off the chain link, you're not sure if it's going to come right back to you. So he got himself in good position.
The way he turned initially, I thought maybe he was gliding back on the ball. So now the tying run is at third. A game the Marlins once led 4-0. The infield will play in with Josh Naylor at the plate, who chops one to the right side. It sneaks through for a base hit. The Mariners have tied the game. Raleigh will stop at third. And now Naylor and Edwards collide after Naylor rounds the bag at first. And they're going to call interference on Xavier Edwards. Naylor's going to get the bag. But this is something, Hut, that we talked about this. We'll look again, but Naylor is very good at finding himself opportunistic situations like that.
There's no way he's going to go to second base because the play was right in front of him, but he did it intentionally because he saw where X was. See, he knows this is a single to right field. Now he sees Xavier. And watch. He just keeps going, and he knows he's going to get the call.
You know, I will be impartial here. Watching that replay and watching Naylor's eyes.
He didn't look at him.
He never looked at him. Now, there will be an error charge to Edwards on this. Watch his eyes.
See, he doesn't see him until right now. So that really wasn't intentional on his part. He was just taking a big turn.
I agree.
The former first-round pick of the Marlins, Josh Naylor.
So the Mariners have tied the game here in the 8th. On an RBI single from Josh Naylor, who is at second after the RBI single E4. And the Marlins infield will have to remain in. Now there's no double play in order with Raley coming to the plate. Cade Gibson loosening. And Raley swings and misses. Good sweeper, 0-1. Bouncing ball towards third. Sanoha's got it. They've got the runner. Raleigh hung up. Mack flips it to Sanoha. Sanoha fires it to the plate. Fauché will tag him out. They do get the second out of the inning. It's a critical one. 5-2, 5-1.
Real nice job by Calvin Fauché to get in there too. Heads up by Javi. He makes the throw. Here comes the rundown. And there's Fauché right there for the throw. Puts the tag on the runner. So good job on his part.
So with 2 outs, now the infield can play back.
Had a nice target to tag the big dumper.
Yes, he sure did. And here is Cole Young, who's 1 for 3 with a homer in this game. Calvin Fauché desperately trying to get himself out of the 8th.
Boy, a ton of base runners for Seattle the last 2 innings.
Yep.
7th and 8th innings.
Heck, you can even go back to the 6th. If you go back to the beginning of the 6th inning, if I just counted correctly, Young is the 17th batter that the Marlins have faced since the 6th. Two and 1 on Cole Young.
Seattle's going to have a nice double play combination for a long time.
Yes, they are.
Cole Young's 22. Emerson's just 20.
Two and 2 on Young. And Emerson, before he even made his major league debut, signed the historic 8-year, $95 million contract extension before he ever played an inning. Remember Scott Kingery of the Phillies kind of did that, I don't know, maybe a decade ago now. Kind of set the tenor for all that.
No, that's one that didn't work out.
2-2. That one stunned Joe. Boy, and this crowd that's been lively tonight, desperately trying to get Fauché through the 8th. It was a very hittable breaking ball there too. Boy, that was center cut right on his mask. Dropped him right back onto his heels.
He's gotten dinged up a few times just this inning.
Fauché allowed 4 runs in his last outing in Colorado. He has been unscored upon in 12 of his last 14 outings. 2-2. That is carved foul. This is very similar, what feels like, to the Raleigh at bat, where he just waited out Fauché, continued to wait him out.
Yeah, it's interesting there. You hear this term a lot, swing and miss. Calvin Fauché, one of the guys in that bullpen for the Marlins that doesn't have a lot of that. He gets the ground balls. Michael Peterson has a lot of swing and miss.
Clayton's got the entire bullpen at his disposal a day after an off day. Whew. And some hittable pitches here for the Mariners facing Fauché in the 8th. And that was another one. And Fauché is about to throw his 29th pitch. Which is already the 3rd most he's thrown in an outing this year. Another 2-2. And another foul ball.
Same kind of mix we saw to Cal Raleigh with all the pitches he threw him.
It's nothing but sweepers and cutters. And that was the first fastball, I believe, he's thrown in this outing. Because again, to the lefties, they know it's coming in, right? I mean, they know that everything is going to ride back in towards them. So this next one will be number 10. And that misses for ball 4. And the Mariners have the bases loaded with Victor Robles coming to the plate. It's not an awful walk. You do get the righty-righty matchup, but Fauché's got to be darn near exhausted.
Yeah, it's a 3-2 count where you say, okay, I can make a perfect pitch. If I miss, I'll go after the righty. But there's the breakdown of pitches that Fauché has thrown.
Robles takes strike 1. That was pitch number 32 for Fauché. His next will tie him for the 2nd most in a game this season, when he threw 33 on May 19th against Atlanta. Threw a season high 36 on June 6th against the Rays as Robles lays off a sweeper. Robles 0 for 3. Foul ball. It's 1-2. Marlins have won 35 straight games at home when leading by 3+ runs. They have coughed up a 4-0 lead here tonight. They've scored 2 in the 8th to tie at 1-2. Goes all the way to the backstop. And that is how the Mariners take the lead. On a wild pitch.
Well, for a game that was so crisp early on, it's kind of gotten undone here these last few innings.
See Naylor run into Fauché. And Robles lines one to center. Marcy's got it, but the Mariners score 3 times. They lead for the first time tonight. We're in the middle of the 8th.
This is it.
They'll celebrate 250 years of America with the Marlins, and you can join us on Saturday at 4:10 for the USA 250 celebration presented by Budweiser. Catch the Marlins against the Guardians and take home an exclusive USA 250 jersey ticket package. Get your tickets at marlins.com/USA. Marlins hoping for a little magic as we go to the bottom of the 8th. The ball game, they led 4-0. They trailed 5-4. Mariners took the lead on a wild pitch from Calvin Fauché in the top of the 8th. And here's a tough assignment for the Marlins. Gabe Speier, the lefty out of Santa Barbara, California, and 27 appearances this season, has a 1.64 ERA. First man he faces, a pinch hitter, Heriberto Hernandez, who flies one foul off to the right, 0-1.
Yeah, we talked about their bullpen and how it has pitched extremely well. Speier hasn't allowed a run over his last 12 appearances.
And he will probably get a steady dose of righties here in the 8th. Hernandez pinch hitting. Looks like Esteury Ruiz is on deck.
Yeah, bet the team had trouble pulling Heriberto out of Sacramento. 5 for 10 with 3 home runs against the Athletics.
One directly into the batter's eye at Sutter Health Park. He had 3 doubles, 3 homers, 5 RBIs, and 6 walks on the road trip. Missed inside for ball 2.
Wasn't quite as far as the one Nick Kurtz hit over the batter's eye.
Gosh. That was a fun one because the Marlins had a big lead. 3-1. After Hernandez, Ruiz is going to hit Jimenez and Navarreto down there as well. You have an all right-handed bench tonight. Speier fires. Fastball at 97 for strike 2. Hernandez recorded his second career multi-homer game in Sacramento on July 5th. Fly ball. Left field. Come on, big boy. We're tied in the 8th. Oh, a bomb.
Does he have some pop? Burt with a blast.
Come on now, boys.
I mean, his have been no doubters.
It's the 3rd pinch hit home run for Heriberto Hernandez this season. That is one of the longer homers we've seen in this ballpark's history. That ended up onto the concourse behind the bleachers and left.
3-2, heat against heat, power against power. And Heriberto Hernandez prevailed.
Look where it lands high. Now Esteury Ruiz takes ball 2. A 422-foot bomb means baseball fans can score. Unlock your free 20-ounce Baja Blast by registering at BajaBlastHomeRuns.com. A mammoth game-tying homer. Now Cal Raleigh's out to try to settle down Speier, who's all sorts of rattled after Heriberto Hernandez almost hit that one to downtown Miami.
Yeah, a lot of times you'll see this was not a majestic fly ball and it wasn't a line drive. It was kind of in between. But just was hammered.
Ball 3 on Ruiz. You walk him, then you got speed on, and the Mariners are going to have themselves a big old problem. The resilient Marlins have come back to strike again. 3-0. He's going to first.
You know, last year for Roberto Hernandez, in more at bats, he had 10 home runs. Fewer at bats this year. That was number 12 on the year.
Was another Marlins home run for healthcare, brought to you by Leon Medical Centers. Each Marlins homer this season means a donation to the League Against Cancer, delivering free care in South Florida. Speed at first, potential winning run aboard. Here's Marcy, and here's the throw over. And if that's his best move, that ain't gonna cut it.
Most, and I say most relievers, especially hard throwers, don't have real good moves to first base.
Huge lead. Not going. Marcy yanks a bunt towards first. That'll go foul. So that's interesting. He tries to drop down a bunt. Now he's probably got the Mariners thinking, what's Marcy doing? And Ruiz probably gets the hamster wheel going, thinking about what he's going to do now.
Yeah, not a real high leg kick, so fairly quick to the plate.
You have a very good defensive catcher in Raleigh, but if Marcy were to show bunt again to keep him back on his heels, it might allow Ruiz just enough time to swipe the bag at second. Here we go. There goes Ruiz, and Marcy bunts it out in front of the plate. That'll work. Snap throw to first in time. Marcy's out. Ruiz is at second.
Sure if there was any play on, but if you're Jacob Marcy and you see a pretty good jump by Ruiz, you might think about pulling the bat back and not dropping down the bunt. Either way, you got a man at second. Now you got to be alive maybe for Ruiz to take off and try to steal third.
You have to wonder if he's going to give it a shot here, and Raleigh's going to go out to chat with Spire. There is activity in the Mariners bullpen. Now the only thing you worry about with Joe Mack at the plate is if Ruiz does try to go, there's no righty stick in the box to shield the catcher to make him make a real tough throw. He's going to have nothing but real estate to zing a throw down to third. But from what you've seen, what do you think of Spire getting down the plane and getting to the plate? Is there enough time for Ruiz to really be aggressive here?
So far, I'm watching Spire. He's quick to the plate. A little short leg kick. Sometimes he does a slide step.
And Ruiz was just over chatting with third base coach Blake Lally. Ruiz has the second most stolen bases of third in baseball this season with 6. Trailing Jazz Chisholm Jr. of the Yankees, who has 9. Marlins coughed it up in the top half of the inning. They've tied it here in the last of the 8th. Spire delivers, and Joe Mack takes a strike. Spire looked Ruiz back, and Emerson was nowhere near him. I really don't think Spire has a great move.
No, and Emerson, I mean, I've seen shortstops play a lot closer to runners.
One misses inside on Mack.
The other thing you hope, you distract Spire so much that he makes a mistake to the plate and gives Joe something really good to hit.
Cued that slider foul. It's 1-2 now. Pete Fairbanks loosening the bullpen for Miami. He's trying to right the ship. He'll have an opportunity one way or another in the 9th inning to do it. Javier Sinoja is on deck. Either way, he should get a shot unless craziness ensues here. Mack hitting .226 against lefties, .261 against righties. It's the rookie's time to shine. Can he come through? That's foul.
Just hanging in.
He has seen a ton of sliders, 3 in a row after a sinker. What's he got to do here as a left-handed hitter just to hang around?
You just got to hang around. You got to foul off anything close. Can't take anything close. You got to keep yourself ready for any heat, though, if he sees the fastball. Don't know if he will, though.
Well, there goes Ruiz. The pitch is low. No throw. It got away from Raleigh. He picked his pocket. He waited for the perfect time. Stolen base number 19 for Esteri Ruiz. That's the outright lead.
Well, I got a great jump. Great jump. I don't think Raleigh, if he catches it cleanly, throws him out.
Infield in. 2 balls, 2 strikes to count on Joe Mack. Trying to be a hero here late in this game. Now the pitch. Kind of similar to Raleigh, man. Mack has seen a lot. He's seen fastballs. He's seen sliders. He has seen Spires. Everything he has to offer.
Yeah, and I think that's good. The fact that last 2 pitches have been the fastball, the 4-seamer. Went upstairs with that 97. But he's also fouled off a couple of tough sliders earlier in the count.
Two.
And when you see some early in the count, it allows you to take one out of the zone like that.
Go ahead run 90 feet away at third. 1 out. Bottom 8. Tie game at 5. Payoff pitch. Outside ball 4. Raleigh will challenge.
Yeah, that's a good take, though. I think you saw it's off the plate. But in the case of the Mariners, a good challenge.
ABS powered by T-Mobile. Here's your verdict. It is outside.
Jeff has 1 challenge remaining.
That's an 8-pitch walk by a rookie facing a guy coming into this outing who had a sub-2 ERA this year.
That's a great AB by Joe Mack.
Now Josh Naylor chatting with Joe Mack. And here comes Javier Sanoja.
All right, the odds tell you that Javi's going to put the ball in place somewhere.
Would they think about a safety squeeze?
No, I don't think so.
I only say that, Hut, because you couldn't ask for a better combination to pull it off.
Well, you do. You have a guy who can bunt, but you also have a guy who makes contact.
Right.
In Javi.
You just see that right side of the infield that's wide open. And Spire falls off towards third. Popped him up. Sanoja slams his bat on the ground, snaps it in half. There's 2 out.
Boy, he's mad. He got a pitch. He could drive in the air to the outfield, and with the speed at third.
He broke that bat. Javi not happy at all. So here is Liam Hicks, who's 3 for 4 with 2 singles, a double, and a run scored. Have they exhausted Spire enough here in the 8th that he makes one more mistake? Liam ready to do some damage. Swinging a ground ball to the right side. Young's got it. Inning over. Marlins tie it thanks to an Heriberto Hernandez pinch hit home run, his 3rd of the year. 8 in the books here at Lone Depot Park. Seattle 5, Miami 5. 9th inning coming up when we return.
All for less at Whole Foods Market.
Miami Marlins baseball is presented by the Wells Fargo Active Cash Credit Card. Earn unlimited 2% cash rewards on purchases. Terms apply. Probably a life of the party out there on the beach, but the life of the party is inside of Lone Depot Park, where Heriberto Hernandez tied the ball game in the bottom of the 8th. Third pinch hit homer of the year. His 4th game tying home run of the season. Here is Pete Fairbanks, who has been put through the ringer lately. Esteri Ruiz is in right. Fairbanks has allowed a run in each of his last 4 outings, pitching to a 13.50 ERA. Swing and a miss by Emerson. Clayton McCullough did not shy away when asked about Fairbanks earlier this afternoon. Not keeping him in these high leverage situations. Weak swing and a miss. It's 1-2. They are convinced, Hut, and I don't disagree with them, that the stuff has been there. Obviously, Clayton admitted a couple of pitches he'd like back that absolutely killed him.
Yeah, sometimes the location hasn't been there for him.
But they still believe that good stuff is in there. Can he hang up a 0 here in the 9th? Just missed there. It is amazing to me how many catchers probably would have challenged that pitch, but Mac knows every ball and strike. 9-1-2 for the Mariners. Oh, yeah. At the knees, Emerson will challenge. If he's wrong, they're out. He's wrong. They're out. He's out. There's one away.
There's a good example. Some really good sliders, and then just paints with perfect heat. So you're right. It hasn't been the stuff, I don't think, but he's left a lot of sliders out over the plate. I think it's mostly been location.
Top of the order, here's J.P. Crawford. Obviously, Fairbanks has history pitching for so long in the American League. He has certainly faced these Mariners before. One ball, one strike to count on J.P. Crawford, who's 1 for 3 in this game. Fairbanks is facing the Mariners for the 6th time in his career. Crawford 0 for 3 against him with 3 strikeouts. Randy Arozarena, his old teammate in Tampa Bay, is on deck. 1-1. This is up and away. Ball 2. Ball 3. Swing and a miss.
Yeah,
that was
some good heat right
that
there.
was one big fella versus another. Come get some. I'm throwing you everything I've got. To a 3-2. Now, would he go right back with that fastball? Maybe elevate it a little bit more.
He could, but I'd like to see him throw a slider. He went up.
So this is always the fun part to think about. Crawford is sitting there thinking now there's no way he goes back up there again. He's probably got to throw me something soft. And now Joe Mack wants to talk about it.
If you're a hitter, you just can't look for you got to look for the heat when a guy's throwing 97, 98 miles an hour.
Crawford's strikeout percentage up from where it was last year. 3-2. Got him. Hut, he was looking for a slider. Off of that swing, that was ugly. He was looking for a slider.
Well, whatever he was looking for, he didn't get it because he got the fastball, but look where it is. He was late. If he was looking for a slider, he deserves to strike out, because I don't know how you can do that with a guy throwing 98.
2 away. Now, here's a pair of former teammates facing off for the first time. Arozarena has never faced Fairbanks before. And I've got to imagine they spent some time together on the backfields in Port Charlotte. Swing and a miss. He spun around 3 times.
This is some of the best stuff he's had this year, Pete Fairbanks.
Well, I think it's angry stuff, to be honest with you. Arozarena keeps kind of grimacing. Remember, he got hit by a pitch last time, Bob. Threw him a slider, bounces it foul, 1-2. I think you're going to see a lot of emotion from Pete Fairbanks if he retires Arozarena, in particular if he strikes him out, because he's on the verge of striking out the side. One-two coming. Into right, and Ruiz will have to play it on a hop. Fairbanks is disgusted. Next batter will be Dominic Canzone, but first a message from Warner Hoffman, Greg, and Garcia.
Winning doesn't just happen by accident. At WHG, we know every case is earned before you ever step inside the courtroom. WHG, preparation wins.
Now, Fairbanks has got to remain focused here. He couldn't believe that Arozarena got a piece of that cutter. Here's Canzone, who's 0 for 4. Fairbanks kind of threw his arms up towards the heavens after that hit, kind of like, what more can I do? Fly ball right field. Ruiz is over in the corner. He's got it. And the side is retired. Marlins will try to win it when we return. A flashback to 2024 when the Mariners were in town. Tim Anderson with a walk-off base hit June 21st, 2024. A little over 2 years ago, Jake Berger scored. Marlins won it. And we have something similar in store for us here tonight. 5-5 bottom 9 with Stowers, Lopez, and Edwards due up. Andres Munoz is on to pitch. Seattle's closer has 16 saves this season. Nothing in the way of a save in it here in the 9th. He's just trying to send it to the 10th, and it's been a rocky season at times for Munoz, who's appearing in his 36th game. He has a 4.45 ERA. Lefties better than the righties. Stowers behind in the count, 0-2. He's allowed 4 homers, all to left-handed batters this season as Munoz.
Yeah, he'll use that 4-seamer, which gets up there in the high 90s. He'll actually throw more sliders.
Marlins trying to come from behind. 1-2. Showed you 3 walk-off hits for Stowers, 2 homers. There's the lefty-righty splits for Munoz in 35 games. Swing and a miss. Stowers strikes out for the 3rd time tonight. He's 0 for 4. Got him with a changeup.
Yeah, got him with his 3rd pitch. That's a 3rd pitch for him, but a good one. Kept it out of the zone, kept it down.
Now Otto Lopez will face Munoz. And this inside for ball 1 at 101 miles an hour. Lopez facing Munoz for the first time in his career. Xavier Edwards is on deck. Pop foul. That'll reach the seats. 2-1.
And another triple digits.
Boy, it's just filthy.
That's almost not fair.
When you're gearing up for 101.
Yeah, 101 and then a nasty slider.
See Otto fluttering his lips after that swing and a miss. Fly ball shallow left. Emerson out. Arozarena is in. He almost ran into Emerson. There's 2 away.
The veteran gave way to the 20-year-old.
If Lopez got a slider he'd like back. With the Mariners 7-1 this season when tied entering the 9th inning, the best such record in baseball. Marlins are 3-3 in this scenario. Edwards flies one down the left field line. Could be playable for Arozarena. It is. Free baseball coming up from Lone Depot Park. 10th inning on tap when we return. There is your matchup tomorrow night on Marlins.tv. Phillips versus Kirby. Should be another good one. Should be fun. Somebody will have a chance to win the series. Hopefully it'll be the Marlins. We led this game tonight 4-0. They coughed all that up. They trailed 5-4. Marlins 1-3 in extras. Mariners 5-4. Roberto Hernandez slugged a game-tying homer in the bottom of the 8th. And Wilson is going to pinch run for Seattle. And he will be the placed runner for Canzone. Cade Gibson replaces Pete Fairbanks, and the batter is Cal Raleigh. First pitch, bouncer left side. Will they go to third? They will. Awful base running by Wilson. What is he doing with the ball in the play in front of him?
Well, a good pick and throw by Otto Lopez, but yeah, you're absolutely right. That ball's in front of you like that. You can't go to third. Wilson went in to pinch run, and quickly he'll head back to the dugout, maybe not sitting close to Dan Wilson over there.
It's a very slow walk. He might just keep going. It's a huge out for obvious reasons for Gibson. And now you don't have a whole lot of speed at first. Gibson delivers to Naylor, and he takes a high slider for a strike. Now remember, because we've gone to the 10th inning, the Mariners do get one challenge back. They are not without challenges. They have one remaining. Naylor takes strike 2.
Yeah, a lot of things happen in that situation that put the Marlins back in the driver's seat. You got less speed on the bases with Raleigh, and you have lefty-lefty matchup right here now with Cade Gibson going against Naylor.
0-2. Let's see if Gibson can put him away. Fly ball center field. Marcy's got it. 2 out.
Get ahead 0-2. You can make that pitch, and you see how Naylor was bailing out a little bit and really just reached out to hit the shallow fly ball to center. So good pitch by Cade.
It is such a precarious and uncomfortable situation for relievers when they inherit situations like this. You almost need to just play to make sure you don't allow them more than the one. And if you find a way to get out of it unscathed, I mean, for obvious reasons, a total bonus. And now Mitch Garver replaces Luke Raley. And he takes a slider for a called strike on the inside corner. Tyler Zuber is loosening in case he's needed. So Garver and Wilson have both been used here in the 10th. Garver for Raley, Wilson for Canzone. And Garver waits on an 0-1, and he's behind the count, 0-2.
Well, I love the way Cade Gibson's been able to get ahead. That's so important, especially in these situations.
Nothing in 2 the count. Can Cade Gibson hang up a 0 here in the 10th? The pitch. Garver lays off a curveball, but Gibson's got a little wiggle room here. He could throw a couple more of those if he wants.
Yeah, and he can do it because he's got a guy back there who's going to do just that. Just what Joe Mack did. Keep that ball in front of him. Raleigh, the runner, he's a catcher. He knows when that ball's out in front of the catcher, you can't advance.
Atlanta has lost tonight 12-4 in Pittsburgh. Should the Marlins walk this game off, they'd be 3 back in the division. Just missed outside. Elsewhere in baseball today, St. Louis playing a doubleheader against Milwaukee. They lost game 1 4-3. They're down 10-2 in the bottom of the 7th inning of game 2. An opportunity tonight for the Marlins to really create a little bit of separation in that wild card race. 2-2. Ball 3.
Now, what you hate to do is lose a hitter when you've gotten ahead 0-2. And the other advantage for Seattle, it allows Raleigh now to be on the move.
Bad base running to start the inning by Wilson. Naylor flew out. Garver was behind on the count, 0-2. Now it's full. Payoff pitch. Ground ball foul outside of third. Sanoha read it well the entire way. Although he is deep of third, he's playing no doubles. Whew. It's close though, ain't it?
Yeah, Javi helping out third base umpire Brian O'Nora with that call. Yeah, see, it is foul, Brian.
The pitch number 11 here in the 10th inning for Cade Gibson. Here it comes. Just got a piece of the curveball. Mitch Garver batting here in the 10th. First time we've seen the veteran here tonight of 10 seasons. 2023 World Series champion, won a Silver Slugger in 2019. Called on to pinch hit for the Mariners. Meyer, Peterson, King, Fauché, Fairbanks, and Gibson. Bouncing ball left side. Otto Lopez pulls the trigger. Long throw to first. Inning over. Cade Gibson hangs up his 0 here in the 10th. See if the Marlins can win it when we return. Back here at Lone Depot Park, where we go to the bottom of the 10th inning of a 5-5 game. A golden opportunity for the Marlins to win it. And it's only 5-5 because Heriberto Hernandez unloaded, pinch hitting in the bottom of the 8th inning, leading off that frame. 3rd pinch hit homer of the year, this one at Country Mile. It was his 4th game-tying home run of the season. And you best better believe Heriberto Hernandez has a bit of a flair for the dramatic. So here's the situation for the Marlins in the 10th. Their placed runner will be Xavier Edwards.
And that's good news right off the bat. Anytime you can have that placed runner with a little speed, that certainly helps out.
Marlins have one walk-off win at home this season. You might recall that was Sunday, March 29th against the Rockies. That blistering walk-off bomb by Owen Casey. Many that have attended this one tonight have not left the confines of Lone Depot Park. Here's Michael Rucker, who's got a 6.48 ERA in 8 appearances this year. First pitch, fly ball in the air to right field, sending back Miles Mastrobuoni fresh into the game. Makes the catch on the warning track. Edwards tags, goes to third. And now the winning run is at third base with one away.
Good job by Roberto. Stayed back. He was thinking hit that ball the other way. If it's on the ground, he'll move the runner. If it's in the air, he'd move the runner. So good job on his part. That's how you win close games.
It didn't have to be as dramatic as the first time. Here is Esteury Ruiz. See if he can pull every single man in that dugout out of there. And now the infield will converge. Tell you what, Ruiz has been a very pesky hitter this season. This is no cheap gimme here for Rucker if the Mariners are thinking, well, thank goodness we have to face this guy. Clayton McCullough hoping his boys can polish off their 18th comeback win of the season with their second walk-off win at home. Esteury Ruiz has 2 walk-off base hits in his career. April 30th of 2023 and May 16th of 2023. One against the Reds, one against the Diamondbacks. There's ball 1. Will they pitch him carefully, I guess will be the question.
I don't think so. You have Marcy on deck. I think he's going to have walk-off number 3 in his career.
Ooh, challenge that one. ABS powered by T-Mobile. And Esteury is right.
Miami has 2 challenges remaining.
Two and 0 now. Rucker delivers and Ruiz shoots that curveball foul.
A little bit of a hanger, but it stayed in on Ruiz.
Marlins desperately hoping they can set aside the Mariners right here in game 1. Ball 3. Marcy on deck. You know he'd love a chance. Only if Ruiz walks. Esteury will challenge another, and I think he might win another. Not sure what but Chris Siegel's umpire. The microphone is working. Another ABS challenge powered by T-Mobile. There is ball 4.
This is the ball.
There you go, Chris. So Ruiz will go to first. Edwards remains at third. Ruiz probably won't take long. You want to stay out of a double play.
Yeah, a couple of real good challenges too.
How about Ruiz? Pinch hits in the 8th, draws a walk against the pesky Spire. And now he draws a walk against Rucker.
And picked up a stolen base in between. Stolen base at third.
And he might be on the verge of taking another. No, that missed high. Does Ruiz just need to run here?
Well,
you have to be careful.
If he does, they'll just they'll put Marcy on first base just to set up a force anywhere.
Joe Mack on deck. Ruiz goes. Marcy flies that foul. Well, for all the hardships that Jacob Marcy has faced this season, he's got a chance to be a hero right here and do something he's never done before. And collect a walk-off RBI. Infield in. 1-1 pitch. Marcy takes up and away for ball 2.
And I'll tell you what an absolute boost it would be for Jacob Marcy to do that for his confidence for the remainder of the year.
Swing and a fly ball, right field and deep. Away back. Game over. Marcy, the walk-off hero.
I'm smiling with him. Forget about the sac fly. That is just tremendous. Great win, but just terrific for Jacob Marcy, who has had struggles, but the last 3 or 4 games now has shown that he's swinging the bat the way he did when we saw him last year.
He so terribly needed, and he so very much deserved it. And you better hop on board now, because these Marlins are for real. And they are not in a position where people are going to take them lightly anymore here in 2026.
Yeah, he got this breaking ball. Got enough of it. He's thinking, okay, if I get the ball in the air, got some speed on the bases. For a minute, a lot of people thought that ball was out, but it's just a long, long single for Jacob Marcy off the Loan Depot sign. But a big one for Marcy, and a big win for the ball club. You come back home after a tremendous road trip, a 7-3 road trip, to give up a 4-0 lead, but then to get some nice work from Cade Gibson, who gets the win in this game. A nice inning by Pete Fairbanks. I think that was a real positive you have to think about tonight. Early in the game, the Owen Casey blast, his 12th home run, 50th RBI of the year. And Roberto Hernandez tying the game with his 3rd pinch hit home run of the year. Did that in the 8th inning. There were a whole bunch of really nice things tonight.
There were so many heroes, and there's so many guys, Hud, that believe that this team is for real. They've taken Billy's flag and they all converge. And that's just a handful of the guys that so desperately wanted to win this one tonight. And congratulations to the Marlins, who have won 50 games before the All-Star break for the 4th time in franchise history. That's a remarkable feat. And they are ready to win a whole lot more. I think Jeremy Taché is standing by with the hero, Jacob Marcy.
Jacob Marcy, the walk-off. How's it feel?
Yeah, it feels great. Good to get a win. Battled all game, and awesome to come up with that.
So you're the hero in the end, but this team had so many different heroes throughout the game, whether it's Big Mike on the mound in the 6th inning. Oh, well-deserved right there. Well-deserved. You get to cool off a little bit from the red-hot hitting for this team, but so many different heroes tonight. When you look around this team and you see so many guys coming through in big moments, what does it tell you about this club and its continued fight?
Yeah, I mean, I think it just shows why we're never out of games, or always in games, no matter what. I mean, our bullpen was tremendous after Max came out, Mike shoving the door and not letting anyone score, and then just no matter where it came in the game when we were down, Bert coming off the bench and getting that homer. I mean, we have a lot of fight in this team. We have a lot of fun, and it's been a great time.
For you personally, to continue to persevere through this season that I know has had its ups and downs, for you to be able to have a moment like this one as you started to get going, what can that do for you as we head toward the All-Star break and potentially into the second half of the season?
Yeah, I'm only focused on today, honestly. I mean, I think I've focused too far in advance, too much this year. I'm just trying to take it day by day and have fun. I trust in God and know that everything's going to work out the way it's supposed to, and a lot of these are just lessons, and just want to keep going and have fun with the team.
Go have fun with the team. Enjoy this one, Jacob. Congratulations on the victory, guys. That was a thriller. Looking forward to a few more of these here at Loan Depot Park, huh?
All right, Jeremy, thank you very much. Hop on board, folks. Come out and join us. The Marlins are for real, and we'd love for you to join us at Loan Depot Park and support these guys because they deserve it. This is a fun ball club. Our next telecast will come your way tomorrow night. First pitch at 6:40. Plenty more coverage from tonight's game is next. For Tommy Hutton and Jeremy Taché, for our director Brad Gersten and our producer John Sulser, I'm Kyle Seeloff. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Don't go anywhere. The post-game show is next.